first edition King James Bible that was printed in 1611. So this is over 4 centuries old.
This Bible is like 135 years old.
Police in Turkey have recovered a Bible thought to be 1,000 years old.
Now, this is quite a discovery. Fragments of a biblical scroll.
Turkish authorities have confirmed that an ancient Bible thought to be 1,500 years old.
We're diving deep into a revelation that has stunned historians and religious scholars alike. A new fragment of the ancient Book of Enoch has surfaced, uncovering secrets and prophecies that have been hidden for centuries. Could these texts be talking about the mysterious beings, angels, demons, and perhaps interdimensional forces that have fueled countless biblical accounts? These stories often evoke images of forbidden rituals, pentagrams, holy water, and the eerie question, can such dark forces truly be controlled, or are we playing with fire? Are these entities here for good, or something far more sinister? Join us as we explore what this newly discovered text reveals, and why it challenges everything we think we know. We are Jesus' Eternal Aura. In today's video, you will have appropriate answers to all the questions above. Before you know what happened, subscribe to the channel, like this video.
The ancient Book of Enoch is a book that was quite popular during the first 700 years of church history, but then faded from sight. Nobody republished it. It disappeared until the Book of Enoch was rediscovered in the Ethiopian region of Abyssinia in the 1700s.
The Bible often serves as the foundation for understanding truth, revealing how, despite our tendency to err or act irrationally, there is a profound spiritual reality embedded in its teachings. The Bible offers us powerful narratives, historical records, and mythological accounts, illuminating the lives of figures who lived in profound connection with the divine. One such compelling figure is Enoch, a unique character in biblical history whose story is interwoven with themes of faith, mystery, and celestial revelations. Enoch, a descendant of Adam and the great-grandfather of Noah, emerges as a central figure in ancient Jewish and Christian traditions, famous for his unusual fate of being taken directly to heaven without experiencing death. The narrative of Enoch is among the most captivating in theological literature, as it has inspired multiple religious and mythological texts. He is first mentioned in Genesis as the son of Jared, and he is noted for his extraordinary life of 365 years. Genesis 5:18-24 highlights that Enoch walked with God and, after a life characterized by deep devotion, was taken up into heaven by God himself. This mysterious ascension is interpreted by theologians as God sparing Enoch from mortal death, a privilege granted to only a few individuals in the Bible. The concept of an earthly human being directly taken into the heavenly realm serves as a profound symbol of righteousness and closeness to God. One of the most intriguing aspects of Enoch's story is the revelations he received. These revelations are detailed in what is known as the Book of Enoch, a collection of ancient Jewish texts attributed to him. While Enoch himself may not have authored the book, it is credited to him because it records his visions and teachings. The Book of Enoch expands on his experiences, presenting a unique blend of mystical, theological, and cosmic insights that delve into the hidden workings of creation, the nature of the cosmos, and the destiny of humankind. Within the Book of Enoch, Enoch's journey through various heavenly realms is depicted as an extraordinary ascent, guided by powerful angels. As he ascends, Enoch encounters divine beings like archangels, seraphim, cherubim, and other angelic orders, each playing distinct roles in God's heavenly order. His encounters reflect a well-structured celestial hierarchy, emphasizing that even in the spiritual realm, there is order and purpose. This divine order, designed by God, maintains harmony between heaven and earth, with angels as messengers who act on God's instructions. At the top of this order stands God, the ultimate creator and ruler. One of Enoch's early encounters in heaven includes the cherubim and seraphim, the angels closest to God's throne. The seraphim, depicted with 6 fiery wings, are continuously engaged in worship, praising God. Their fiery forms symbolize their role as divine warriors, while the cherubim, guardians of divine wisdom, are often depicted near God's throne, acting as protectors of sacred knowledge. In this celestial hierarchy, archangels occupy significant roles as high-ranking messengers who watch over and guide humanity according to God's will. Some prominent archangels in the Book of Enoch include Raphael, Gabriel, Michael, and Uriel. Each of these archangels is entrusted with special tasks, whether in delivering God's messages, protecting humanity, or overseeing events in the cosmos. Enoch's visions also include descriptions of other fascinating angelic beings, such as the Aeoni and the Wheels, associated with divine chariots and heavenly thrones. These beings contribute to the celestial machinery of God's rule, a concept that symbolizes God's omnipresence and omnipotence. They represent aspects of divine power that influence the cosmos, creating a link between heaven and earth. Enoch also encounters orders of angelic beings known as principalities, powers, and rulers, each with specific domains within the universe. Principalities govern nations or groups, while powers and rulers oversee celestial bodies and natural phenomena, indicating the complexity and depth of God's kingdom. This structured hierarchy reinforces the notion of divine order, where each angelic being plays a crucial role in maintaining the universe's balance. Among the angelic beings Enoch encounters, one group stands out due to their unique connection to humanity: the Watchers. The Watchers were originally assigned to observe and guide humanity, ensuring humans fulfilled God's purpose. However, some Watchers, led by an angel named Samyaza, rebelled against this divine order. They descended to Earth, taking human wives and fathering a hybrid race known as the Nephilim, described as giants who spread evil and corruption throughout the world. The Nephilim's influence led to a period of unprecedented chaos, with humans taught forbidden knowledge and practices that caused moral and spiritual decay. In response to this rebellion, God allowed these fallen Watchers and their Nephilim offspring to remain on Earth, where their continued actions eventually contributed to the widespread destruction that led to the Great Flood. Yet, not all the Watchers were disobedient. Those who remained loyal to God, referred to as the Saints, stayed faithful to their purpose, representing divine justice and order in the midst of chaos. These saints stand as a testament to the theme of divine justice, contrasting sharply with the rebellious Watchers who disrupted God's order. The Book of Enoch thus presents the Watchers as a complex group, illustrating the balance between divine protection and human freedom, and the consequences of rebellion against God. One of the most significant aspects of Enoch's heavenly journey is his visit to Sheol, the realm of the dead. This descent into the underworld provides an intriguing glimpse into the ancient Jewish understanding of life after death. In Sheol, Enoch witnesses the fate of various souls, divided according to their actions during life. This visit underscores the idea that one's earthly actions have eternal consequences, reinforcing the biblical themes of judgment, repentance, and righteousness. The Book of Enoch emphasizes the importance of seeking divine wisdom and living a life aligned with God's purpose. Enoch's journey through the heavenly realms and his interactions with angels symbolize humanity's potential to connect with the divine and gain knowledge beyond earthly understanding. His experiences serve as a powerful reminder of the transformative power of mystical experiences, offering insights into the divine mysteries that shape existence. While the Book of Enoch is not part of the canonical Bible, its influence extends beyond Judaism and Christianity, inspiring theological discussions and mystical traditions. It remains a testament to humanity's quest for understanding the divine, bridging the gap between the known and the unknown. The text's insights into the nature of angels, the structure of heaven, and the relationship between God and humanity continue to intrigue scholars and spiritual seekers alike. Enoch's narrative culminates in his mysterious ascension, where he is taken into heaven without experiencing death, a rare occurrence that underscores his righteousness and special status in the eyes of God. This final act in Enoch's life represents the ultimate union between humanity and the divine, a reward for his unwavering faith and dedication. His story, marked by celestial visions, divine encounters, and a unique journey, leaves a legacy that resonates with themes of faith, redemption, and the search for truth. The story of Enoch offers a profound exploration of spiritual mysteries, celestial hierarchies, and the eternal quest for wisdom. Through his journey, Enoch unveils the hidden realities of the cosmos, bridging the gap between human understanding and divine knowledge. His life serves as a reminder of the potential for transcendence, inviting believers to walk in faith and pursue the mysteries of God's creation. Enoch's legacy, immortalized in the Book of Enoch, continues to inspire awe and contemplation, encouraging readers to seek a deeper understanding of the divine purpose that governs all creation.
Police in Turkey have recovered a Bible thought to be 1,000 years old, the holy book which was found in the central Turkish city of Tokat.
Enoch's journey, as recorded in the Book of Enoch, unveils not just the physical mysteries of the earth, but also dives into spiritual and cosmic realms. As Enoch ventures into the depths of creation, his exploration reveals the unseen fabrics of the universe. Through his eyes, the narrative reveals more than a mere physical exploration of nature. It's an experience of the cosmos, connecting Enoch with elemental forces such as fire, water, earth, and air in harmonious unity. The sensations he encounters bring a profound feeling of awe, one that starkly contrasts the mundanity of everyday life, allowing him glimpses into the cyclical nature of life and death. Enoch's journey thus signifies a broader revelation of divine law, showing how Earth itself serves as a symbol of divine order. As he continues, Enoch descends into Sheol, a shadowy underworld found in various religious and mythological traditions. Sheol is depicted as a realm where souls are held, awaiting judgment or eternal rest. In this domain, Enoch witnesses the fates of the wicked and the righteous, providing a first-hand look at divine justice in its purest form. Here, Enoch perceives the stark impact of human actions, the rewards for virtuous deeds and the harsh punishments for evil ones. These insights present not just a moral universe, but a spirit world with consequences that extend beyond the earthly realm. His experiences in Sheol move beyond passive observation. They are spiritual revelations that underline the eternal implications of human choices, reinforcing belief in a divine purpose that transcends the physical world. Enoch's unique perspective sets him apart from other prophets, marking him as a visionary and a messenger of profound divine knowledge. On his cosmic journey, Enoch encounters the numinous and the transmundane, realms that reveal the secrets of creation and existence, deepening his understanding of divine justice. Enoch's interactions with angelic beings offer him rare insights into God's secret designs, the operation of the universe, and the divine order governing all creation. His venture into the realm of celestial beings is depicted almost as if he is part of a grand cosmic astronomy lesson, where he gains invaluable insights into the structure and mechanics of the heavens. From these interactions, Enoch gradually acquires an intricate awareness of creation's workings and humanity's role within it. In the Book of Enoch, his journey takes on an educational dimension. Enoch is exposed to subjects such as astronomy, astrology, and time measurement, gaining advanced knowledge of the cosmos, the solar system, stars, and other planets. This celestial education was essential for him to understand star formations and the broader magnificence of the universe. Enoch's understanding of astrology extends beyond horoscopes. He interprets the arrangement of celestial bodies as indicators of human events and destiny, seeing them as parts of a divine plan connected to earthly life. His comprehension of time is equally profound. He grasps the divisions of days, months, and years, seeing them as synchronized with cosmic movements. This alignment of time with God's laws reveals a view of time as cyclical rather than linear, aligning with divine order. Although Enoch's knowledge of astronomy, astrology, and the calendar was immense, it transcended intellectual understanding. It embodied a spiritual insight into the link between earthly and heavenly realms, manifesting the cosmos as a reflection of divine wisdom. After his deep encounters with celestial truths, Enoch began to prophesy, foretelling significant events like divine judgment. Through his visions of heaven and hell, he foretells a future in which all injustices will be rectified and cosmic balance maintained. Enoch sees the dire consequences of sin and learns the painful reality of the unalterable nature of one's actions. His prophetic visions, however, extend beyond retribution. He predicts the eventual triumph of righteousness, the reward of the faithful, and humanity's ultimate purpose. Although the Book of Enoch is considered apocryphal, it still holds immense spiritual and historical value. Classified as pseudepigraphal and not included in the canonical scriptures, the Book of Enoch provides insights that resonate with other sacred texts. Its formation was gradual, with contributions from multiple authors who added layers of knowledge over time. Enoch's teachings, though not officially recognized, touch upon religious traditions across Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, cementing the book's legacy. In Judaism, Enoch is referenced in the Hebrew Bible as a righteous man who was so close to God that he was taken up to be with him. The Book of Enoch, however, expands upon this brief mention, adding vivid details about Enoch's teachings and his divine visions. In some early Christian traditions, the Book of Enoch held significance, with Christian communities referring to it and seeing in Enoch's prophecies and the tales of fallen angels the origins of certain beliefs and traditions. However, the book is not accepted within the canonical literature of most Christian denominations today. In Islam, Enoch is known as Idris and is considered one of the prophets. Although the Book of Enoch is not an Islamic scripture, some Islamic scholars acknowledge its themes and teachings, noting its influence on Islamic mysticism. The Book of Enoch, therefore, occupies a unique position within religious literature. It provides a window into the cosmology, angelology, and eschatology that underpin the spiritual worldview of ancient Jewish traditions, while also intersecting with the beliefs of Christianity and Islam. Overall, the Book of Enoch presents a profound exploration of the spiritual and cosmic realms, portraying Enoch as a visionary granted insight into divine mysteries. His journey through Sheol and the heavens, his interactions with angelic beings, and his knowledge of the cosmos reveal a universe governed by divine law and cosmic balance. Through Enoch's journey, readers are introduced to a spiritual understanding of time, destiny, and divine justice that reinforces the interconnectedness of the earthly and the celestial. As a text, it underscores the idea that human actions bear eternal consequences, that divine wisdom governs the universe, and that ultimately, righteousness and justice will prevail. In essence, the Book of Enoch remains a significant spiritual work, one that bridges the earthly and the divine, reminding humanity of the greater cosmic order and the divine justice that underpins all creation. Through Enoch's experiences, we gain a glimpse into a realm where earthly actions are intertwined with cosmic fate, encouraging readers to reflect on their place within the divine plan.
This is just a fraction of the artifacts that were stolen from archaeological sites in Iraq and smuggled into the United States.
The mysterious journey of Enoch's ascent into heaven unveils a profound celestial odyssey guided by divine messengers. Beginning with his departure from Earth, Enoch is taken by an angel to ascend through multiple heavenly realms, each revealing a deeper layer of the divine cosmos. Enoch's journey first brings him to the supernatural realm of the first heaven, where he beholds an extraordinary sight, a vast, magnificent sea that stretches beyond any earthly ocean. Above this sea, he sees a host of 200 angels governing the stars, a vision illustrating the celestial order sustained by angelic beings. As Enoch ascends to the second heaven, he encounters a realm far removed from Earth's light and shadow. Here, darkness prevails, concealing sorrowful prisoners who await divine judgment for their transgressions. Enoch learns from the accompanying angels that these souls had once defied God's commandments, and for their rebellion, they are now confined in anticipation of final retribution. In the third heaven, the journey shifts dramatically as Enoch steps into a realm of pure beauty and holiness. Paradise. Before him stands the sacred tree of life, a symbol of eternal peace and divine presence. Jewish texts describe this heavenly Garden of Eden, tended by 300 angels who sing praises to God continuously. These celestial guardians explain that this sanctuary is reserved for the righteous, who walk in integrity, uphold justice, feed the hungry, clothe the needy, and assist the oppressed. Such souls are promised an eternal inheritance, one that Enoch now sees firsthand within the heavenly paradise. Yet, not far from this blessed paradise, Enoch observes a place of torment, cloaked in shadows and misery. This realm is marked by rivers of fire and ice, intertwining in cruel union, watched over by fierce angels armed with weapons. Here, those who indulge in acts of dishonor, witchcraft, theft, envy, and other grave sins endure their punishment. Among them are also those who abuse the vulnerable, motivated by greed. These transgressors face an unrelenting anguish, a painful reminder of the consequences of defying divine law. Continuing on, Enoch reaches the fourth heaven, a domain governed by the cosmic mechanics of the sun, moon, and stars. He marvels at their coordinated orbits and the radiant angelic beings who attend to these heavenly bodies. Among the celestial phenomena, Enoch witnesses the majestic flight of phoenix-like creatures, the seraphim and cherubim, who honor the Creator with their presence. In the second book of Enoch, these celestial beings, known as phoenixes, are described as towering entities with features unlike any earthly creature. They have lion-like feet, crocodile-like heads, and multicolored wings, standing almost 900 feet tall. These angelic beings accompany the sun, guiding its warmth and bestowing dew upon the earth. Reaching the fifth heaven, Enoch encounters a group of angelic soldiers called the Watchers, or Grigori. These towering figures resemble humans, but with a powerful giant stature. Despite their formidable appearance, they remain silent and mournful, deeply troubled. Intrigued, Enoch inquires about their sorrow and learns of their rebellion. These Watchers had once descended to earth, drawn to mortal women, defying God's command and bringing chaos into the human world. Their actions led to severe punishment, leaving them to contemplate their fate in this silent, somber realm. Ascending to the sixth heaven, Enoch is welcomed by 7 orders of luminous angels. These archangels, similar in form and purpose, reveal secrets of celestial mechanics and cosmic governance, overseeing seasons, years, natural elements like rivers and seas, and recording the deeds of humankind. The organized hierarchy reflects a divine order, guiding the universe under God's law. When Enoch reaches the 7th heaven, he is engulfed in an overwhelming light, surrounded by powerful archangels and heavenly hosts, including thrones, dominions, and seraphim. The sheer brilliance of this place fills Enoch with awe and fear. The angels encourage him, urging him to stand firm and not be afraid. In the distance, he glimpses the throne of God in the lofty height of the 10th heaven, the ultimate seat of divine authority. As Enoch stands, awestruck, an angel soon departs, leaving him alone. He briefly feels a deep sense of isolation before the archangel Gabriel arrives, guiding him closer to God's throne. Along their path, Enoch is shown the 8th heaven, where the seasons shift according to divine ordinance, and the 9th heaven, the home of the stars and heavenly bodies. Upon approaching the throne of God, Enoch humbly bows, yet he is commanded to stand, and in that moment, his earthly garments are transformed into radiant robes. Anointed with divine grace, Enoch takes on a new, glorious appearance, similar to the other beings in God's heavenly court. In this state, Enoch is given a sacred task, to serve as a scribe, entrusted with recording the mysteries of creation, the destinies of souls, and the secrets of heaven and earth. God reveals to Enoch the divine plan and the order of creation, emphasizing the sanctity of the seventh day, which God reserves for rest, mirroring the 1,000-year reign of Christ foretold in Christian eschatology. Enoch also glimpses the 8th millennium, a period beyond the limits of time itself, distinct from all previous eras. With his new purpose clarified, Enoch receives a divine mandate to return to Earth and share the wisdom he has acquired. The Earth, marred by idolatry and wickedness, would soon face judgment through the flood. Yet from this trial, a remnant of faithful souls would emerge, blessed by the revelations imparted to Enoch. Given 30 days to impart his teachings, Enoch returns to his earthly abode, guided by his guardian angels, prepared for his mission of profound importance. Upon his return, Enoch gathers his children and begins to share his celestial experiences. He describes the heavens, the guardians of the underworld, and the mighty angelic beings he encountered. Among these were serpentine figures with fiery eyes and sharp teeth, a powerful reminder of the duality of justice and mercy within the divine order. Enoch emphasizes to his children that true honor and greatness lie in reverence for God alone. He warns that those who harm the innocent will face divine retribution, for even a simple act like spitting on another can invite judgment. Enoch's teachings are rich with messages of compassion, mercy, and charity. He blesses those who support the oppressed and extend aid to those in need, drawing a parallel between divine judgment and a marketplace, where every action and intention is weighed, determining one's eternal reward. He stresses the importance of righteous conduct and integrity, guiding his children toward lives of moral purity and divine favor. In the third book of Enoch, modern scholars find even deeper connections to the contemporary era, linking ancient spiritual revelations with modern-day understandings of faith. This text, attributed to Rabbi Ishmael, who was said to have ascended to heaven in visions, underscores the continuing relevance of Enoch's journey. His timeless message of faithfulness, justice, and divine love speaks across the ages, reminding us that the sacred truths of the ancients hold enduring significance in guiding us towards spiritual fulfillment and eternal peace.
Now, this is quite a discovery. Fragments of a biblical scroll, along with other relics, have been found in desert caves.
The third book of Enoch offers a fascinating exploration of the transformation of Enoch into Metatron, a figure who transcends mortal boundaries to become an archangel revered across several religious traditions. Metatron, often referred to as the celestial scribe or mediator, embodies themes of divine communication, enlightenment, and spiritual transformation. However, his existence also raises challenging theological questions, as the idea of a former human elevated to the rank of an angel can veer from more traditional doctrines. This complexity is woven through various religious texts, including the Babylonian Talmud and mystical Kabbalistic writings, illustrating the richness and diversity within religious traditions and inviting scholars and spiritual seekers to examine the multifaceted nature of belief systems. Exploring the story of Metatron within the Book of Enoch encourages readers to consider faith, historical tradition, and interpretation in tandem. It highlights how ancient texts, even when studied in a contemporary context, offer profound insight and inspiration. Metatron's journey, from mortal Enoch to a celestial being of high authority, invites deeper reflection on humanity's desire for transformation and understanding within the vast cosmic order. His story in the Talmud offers particular significance given the text's importance in Jewish tradition. The Talmud's development, in and of itself, provides a fascinating account of Jewish oral tradition, later committed to written form. Initially transmitted orally, these teachings were compiled as the Mishnah in the 2nd century CE, followed by commentaries known as the Gemara, forming the full Talmud. The Babylonian Talmud, completed by the 5th century CE, presents Metatron as a complex and mysterious figure. In some interpretations, Metatron is said to have once been Enoch, a devout mortal dedicated to God's will, as described in the Book of Genesis. Yet other traditions propose alternate origins for Metatron, identifying him as a celestial being distinct from Enoch. In accounts where Enoch becomes Metatron, he undergoes a profound transition, ascending to heaven and assuming a position of remarkable authority and honor, second only to God himself. He is depicted as a heavenly scribe, a mediator between God and humanity, and an advocate for the people of Israel. Legends even attribute to him the role of guiding Israel through their journey in the wilderness, solidifying his place as a powerful intermediary. In modern contexts, the legacy of Metatron extends into realms beyond traditional religious belief. His image and story have captured the imaginations of occultists and New Age thinkers, who view him as a symbol of spiritual ascension and self-empowerment. These contemporary interpretations position Metatron as one of the most potent archangels, embodying the potential for human transformation and enlightenment. In this setting, Metatron resonates as a symbol of humanity's capacity for spiritual growth, a figure bridging the finite with the infinite. Another intriguing subject from ancient religious narratives is the Nephilim. To grasp the relevance of recent claims surrounding them, it's essential to delve into their origins. The Bible provides some of the most well-known references to the Nephilim, specifically in Genesis 6:1-4. This passage recounts a time when the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. This union resulted in the Nephilim, described as heroes of old, men of renown. Interpretations of the term Nephilim vary. Some scholars suggest it means fallen ones, while others translate it as giants. The text implies that these beings were born from the union of divine entities, or sons of God, with mortal women. This sons of God phrase has sparked considerable debate, with some scholars positing that it refers to fallen angels, while others argue it might denote a noble class of ancient humans. Further insights into the Nephilim are found in the apocryphal Book of Enoch, which delves into their nature and origins. According to Enoch, the Nephilim were the offspring of a group of 200 fallen angels called the Watchers, who descended to earth and took human wives. The offspring of these unions were giants of extraordinary size and strength, who eventually became tyrannical and oppressive. Their actions and existence led to significant destruction on earth, ultimately resulting in their downfall. Enoch's account provides a vivid picture of these beings as powerful but ultimately flawed, symbolizing the dangers of mixing divine attributes with mortal desires. Elon Musk, a modern visionary known for his focus on the future, has recently piqued public curiosity regarding the Nephilim. Though Musk is not typically associated with ancient mythology or religious texts, he is known for his broad curiosity and willingness to entertain unconventional ideas. Over the years, Musk has made cryptic comments hinting at his interest in ancient mysteries, particularly the Nephilim. During one interview, when asked about extraterrestrial life, he referred to theories about ancient aliens and advanced civilizations. In a casual remark, Musk mentioned the Nephilim, suggesting that there's a lot we don't understand about our history. He noted that the Nephilim's existence, though speculative, challenges our understanding of the past. His statement spurred widespread speculation, with some wondering whether Musk's interest in space exploration might be linked to a desire to uncover traces of these beings, or even their origins, in outer space. The fascination with the Nephilim doesn't end with Musk's comments. In recent years, there has been ongoing speculation about modern-day evidence of their existence. Skeletal remains attributed to ancient giants have been reportedly discovered in various locations worldwide, though many of these findings are dismissed by mainstream archaeologists. One of the most famous examples comes from the 19th and early 20th centuries in the United States, where several newspapers reported the unearthing of giant skeletons, some allegedly measuring up to 10 feet in height. These discoveries were linked to ancient burial mounds in regions such as Wisconsin, Ohio, and Tennessee, leading some to propose that these mounds were the resting places of the Nephilim. Despite the sensationalism surrounding these claims, mainstream scholarship remains skeptical. Scientists and archaeologists argue that most reports of giant skeletons lack verifiable evidence, often attributing them to exaggerated newspaper stories or misidentified remains. Yet, the persistence of these legends speaks to a collective fascination with the idea of ancient giants and forgotten epochs in human history. Some even suggest that historical accounts of the Nephilim represent humanity's attempt to grapple with the mysteries of our origins, the unknown forces that may have influenced early civilization, and the boundaries between the divine and human realms. In contemporary culture, figures like Metatron and the Nephilim are woven into the fabric of speculative thought, intersecting with ideas of spiritual ascension, ancient alien theories, and humanity's search for higher purpose. Metatron's story illustrates the potential for profound transformation and communication with the divine, a theme that resonates across religious and mystical traditions. The Nephilim, on the other hand, represent a cautionary tale of ambition and the dangers of transgressing divine limits. Both figures prompt us to reflect on themes of human aspiration, the limits of knowledge, and the mysteries that lie at the intersection of history, faith, and myth. The exploration of these ancient narratives in a modern context invites scholars, spiritual seekers, and the curious alike to consider their relevance. Figures like Metatron and the Nephilim serve as reminders of the vast tapestry of belief systems that shape our understanding of life's mysteries. Through examining these stories, we may gain new perspectives on humanity's journey, a journey defined by the eternal quest to bridge the known and the unknown, the mortal and the divine. Whether viewed as symbols of enlightenment, cautionary figures, or markers of ancient wisdom, they encourage us to delve into history and faith with an open mind, seeking meaning in the ancient truths that continue to resonate with the human spirit.
If in the beginning there was nothing, and then God created the earth and the skies, and that's essentially what the Bible is trying to say. They're just doing it in a way.
And the Bible got it right.
In these scrolls, we find biblical manuscripts, copies of the Bible that are 1,000 years older than any previously known copy of the Bible, as well as a treasure trove of documents that we had never seen before.
In the 1700s, an ancient text long thought lost resurfaced in the remote Ethiopian region of Abyssinia, the Book of Enoch. This mysterious manuscript had been hidden from sight for centuries, and when it was rediscovered, it shook the foundations of the early Christian church. Priests and scholars who encountered its contents were gripped by fear, some driven to madness, while others were forever changed. What terrifying secrets does this ancient book reveal about humanity? How does Joe Rogan explain its unsettling knowledge? Join us as we dive into the forgotten 2,000-year-old scripture that left everyone trembling in its wake. This is how the people of the internet felt when witnessing this terrifying event. We are Jesus' eternal aura. In today's video, you will have appropriate answers to all the questions above. Before you know what happened, subscribe to the channel, like this video, through the video in the social media.
It's crazy to think that the Book of Enoch was hidden for centuries.
I can't believe this book has terrified the church.
Joe Rogan is right. The knowledge in this book is truly mind-bending.
I heard the Book of Enoch has driven many people to the brink of insanity. It's so creepy.
Who would have thought an ancient book could have such mind-destroying power?
Everyone was extremely excited at the scene that just happened here. Let's see what really happened.
Police in Turkey have recovered a Bible thought to be 1,000 years old. The holy book, which was found in the central Turkish city of Tokat.
The Book of Enoch is a fascinating ancient text that has long intrigued scholars, historians, and theologians. Discovered in Abyssinia, Ethiopia in 1773, this book, also known as the Ethiopic Book of Enoch, belongs to a category of literature known as pseudepigrapha. Pseudepigraphical works are writings attributed to authors who did not actually compose them, often done to provide a certain authority or legitimacy to the text. In other words, these works are forgeries, but they carry significance due to the name attached to them. In the case of the Book of Enoch, the text is attributed to Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah. According to public figures like Joe Rogan, the Book of Enoch contains essential truths that have been suppressed by political agendas and the power struggles of humankind. Rogan, a popular on-air personality and podcast host, has frequently discussed the significance of this ancient text, and many scientists and scholars have appeared on his show to explore its importance. While Rogan's views on the Book of Enoch have sparked widespread discussion, the book is undeniably part of a broader group of pseudepigraphical works, which includes other texts like the Life of Adam and Eve, the Treatise of Shem, and the Testament of the 12 Patriarchs. Together, these works reveal that the religious landscape of ancient Palestine during the Second Temple period was far more diverse than previously thought. Judaism was not a singular belief system, and apocalyptic Christianity emerged as a distinct belief during this era. The Book of Enoch stands apart from other Old Testament writings in several ways. Firstly, the events it describes took place long before the birth of Jesus Christ, giving it a unique perspective on biblical history. The original manuscript of the Book of Enoch disappeared toward the end of the 4th century, but fragments have been discovered in various languages, including Greek, Latin, Syriac, and most importantly, in Aramaic, through the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls. These fragments provide important clues about the book's widespread use and influence in ancient times. But how did this book come to be lost, and why was it hidden in the first place? One of the most intriguing aspects of the Book of Enoch's history is its rediscovery by James Bruce, a renowned Scottish explorer and scholar. Bruce is credited with bringing the text back to the modern world, though the circumstances surrounding his discovery are steeped in mystery and intrigue. The book, originally attributed to Enoch, the son of Jared, was written long after Enoch's lifetime, raising questions about its true authorship. However, Bruce's discovery of the book opens the door to even more fascinating possibilities, particularly the suggestion that the devil himself may have been involved in the narrative. James Bruce set out on his journey not just to explore the world, but also to find ancient texts and relics that would shed light on long-lost traditions and knowledge. During his travels, Bruce arrived in Ethiopia in 1770, after passing through notable ancient cities such as Alexandria, Thebes, and Cairo. His official goal was to locate the Blue Nile, a major tributary of the Nile River, but his interests went far beyond geography. As a member of the Cannon Gate Kill-winning Masonic Lodge, Bruce had a particular interest in ancient mysteries, particularly those involving the Book of Enoch. Masonic tradition holds Enoch in high regard, associating him with the creation of written language and secret wisdom. Bruce believed that by uncovering the Book of Enoch, he would be validating long-held Masonic beliefs. What Bruce actually found, however, was much more perplexing. The Book of Enoch's narrative challenges many of the core tenets of Christianity and ancient Judaism, particularly the nature of the devil. In the modern world, we are accustomed to seeing the devil as the embodiment of evil, a figure responsible for all the world's suffering. However, the Book of Enoch paints a very different picture. According to the book, the devil was not always an adversary of God or humankind. Instead, he may have been a mentor and ally to humanity at one point in time, a shocking departure from the traditional narrative of the fall of Satan. Bruce's discovery of this narrative posed a significant challenge to the established religious order of the time. The Book of Enoch suggests that wisdom and knowledge may have originated from the fallen angels, particularly those who rebelled against God and were punished by the Great Flood. This contradicts the dominant religious belief that all wisdom came from God alone. The controversial nature of this revelation is likely why the Book of Enoch was never fully incorporated into the canon of Christian scriptures and remained unpublished during Bruce's lifetime. Revealing such ideas would have created significant unrest, as they undermined the authority of both the church and the social structure that relied on it. While Bruce's discovery was groundbreaking, the Book of Enoch did not achieve widespread recognition until the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls in the 1940s. These ancient manuscripts were uncovered by chance when a group of Bedouin shepherds stumbled upon a cave near the ancient settlement of Qumran while tending their flocks. One of the young boys threw a rock into an opening in the cliff, and the sound of breaking pottery echoed back. Upon investigating further, they found several large clay jars, inside of which were leather and papyrus scrolls, including additional fragments of the Book of Enoch. The Qumran cave is located in the West Bank, on the northwestern shore of the Dead Sea. The discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls is one of the most important archaeological finds of the 20th century, providing scholars with invaluable insight into the beliefs and practices of the Essenes, an ancient Jewish sect, and the broader context of Second Temple Judaism. The scrolls also reaffirm the significance of the Book of Enoch, showing that it was a respected and influential text in the ancient world, even if it was later excluded from mainstream religious traditions. In conclusion, the Book of Enoch is a text shrouded in mystery and controversy. From its origins in the Second Temple period to its rediscovery by James Bruce and its reappearance among the Dead Sea Scrolls, the book has challenged our understanding of ancient religious traditions and the nature of good and evil. While it remains a footnote in mainstream historical accounts, the Book of Enoch continues to inspire curiosity and debate, offering a unique glimpse into the complexities of ancient Jewish and Christian thought. There are currently two different public opinions about this miraculous event.
I completely agree that everyone needs to grasp new technology trends. Technology not only makes life more convenient, but also creates countless career opportunities. Those who do not keep up will be left behind.
Technology is developing too fast, making people dependent and gradually losing real connection. Instead of spending time with family and friends, people are immersed in their phone screens. I think we need to control this development rather than chasing after it.
This comment clearly shows the opposing views. One side believes in religious and prophetic meaning, while the other side seeks scientific explanations.
Israeli archaeologists working to prevent caves in the area from being looted filmed the moment of their discovery. They'd found ancient verses from the books of the prophets Zechariah and Nahum in the Hebrew Bible.
The Book of Enoch, an ancient text filled with mystical revelations, has been a subject of intrigue and controversy for centuries. Discovered along with many other scroll fragments that are over 2,000 years old, the book has been dismissed by some religious scholars who claim that its content is not divinely inspired. Despite its exclusion from the Bible, the Book of Enoch unveils profound insights about the world's creation, celestial beings, and apocalyptic events, leading to ongoing debates about its relevance. It reveals stories of sensual fallen angels, violent giants, strange cosmological truths, and other mystical revelations that challenge traditional interpretations of biblical events. Some scholars argue that the tales within the Book of Enoch reflect elements of Babylonian mythology. This raises questions about its origins and authenticity, but others maintain that the book contains answers to scientific wonders that modern humanity is only beginning to understand. Joe Rogan, for instance, has argued that although the book borrows from Babylonian myths, these myths might hold clues to understanding the mysteries of the world. If Christians once revered the book, as some claim, Rogan asks why it has been dismissed as a fallacy. The figure of Enoch, to whom the book is attributed, plays a central role in its narrative. Often stepping into the role of a prophesied Messiah long before the time of Jesus, Enoch is a man of extraordinary importance. In various interpretations, he is seen as someone who ascended to heaven by God's grace to learn the secrets of the end of time. For others, however, the story of Enoch is nothing more than ancient fan fiction, a product of creative imaginations attempting to fill in the gaps between the biblical accounts of the Garden of Eden and Noah's flood. Enoch himself is mentioned in the Bible as the seventh of the 10 pre-flood patriarchs, descending from Adam. Despite his relatively early placement in biblical history, the Book of Enoch begins with a vivid and ominous description of the end times, detailing the destruction of the earth and the final judgment of sinful men. The book introduces us to the Watchers, a group of 200 angels assigned to observe human history. However, instead of merely watching, these angels are soon overtaken by lust for human women. Descending to earth, they take the women as their wives, an act that sets off a chain of catastrophic events. The offspring of these unions between the angels and human women are giants, or Nephilim, who are described as ravenous beings that devour everything in their path. When resources became scarce, these giants began eating the people, wreaking havoc across the land. This brutal depiction offers an explanation for the existence of biblical giants like Goliath, portraying them as the result of an unholy mix of angelic and human bloodlines. As chaos spread, the Watchers taught their wives magical knowledge, such as charms, spells, and herbology, further contributing to the breakdown of human society. This depiction of women being corrupted by forbidden knowledge echoes sexist themes from the stories of Eve and Lilith, continuing the portrayal of women as deceivers. Meanwhile, the Watchers also gifted mortal men with the knowledge of metallurgy, helping them craft weapons and armor. This newfound technology led to widespread warfare, as men turned on one another in violent conflict. Realizing the destruction they had caused, the Watchers attempted to escape punishment by blaming one of their own, Azazel, for the disaster. Azazel, often depicted with goat-like features, became the scapegoat for their sins. This blame-shifting echoes the biblical concept of a scapegoat, a figure who bears the sins of others. However, despite their efforts, the Watchers could not escape divine retribution. God, witnessing the destruction wrought by the Watchers, the giants, and the warring humans, decides to cleanse the earth with a great flood, wiping the slate clean. Noah, one of the few righteous men left on earth, is warned by God about the impending flood and instructed to build an ark to save himself and his family. This familiar story from Genesis takes on new dimensions in the Book of Enoch, as it ties directly into the broader narrative of fallen angels, giants, and humanity's descent into chaos. Amid this turmoil, Enoch suddenly appears in heaven without much build-up or explanation. God tasks him with delivering judgment to the Watchers, condemning them to spend the rest of eternity as demons. This marks the beginning of Enoch's ascension to a powerful figure in heaven. Enoch is also shown visions of the end of time, and these apocalyptic scenes bear a striking resemblance to the visions found in the books of Daniel and Revelation. Yet, in the Book of Enoch, these revelations come much earlier in the timeline, placing them before the events of the rest of the Bible. As Enoch's heavenly journey continues, God and Enoch begin naming sinners and pronouncing their judgment. Enoch is empowered by God, transforming into Metatron, the leader of the archangels. This dramatic transformation underscores Enoch's unique role in the celestial order, one that combines elements of prophecy, judgment, and divine leadership. The Book of Enoch is a compilation of several books, each filled with its own unique revelations. The main sections include the Book of Watchers, the Book of Parables, the Astronomical Book, the Dream Visions, and the Epistle of Enoch, totaling 100 chapters. The Book of Watchers, in particular, is one of the most famous sections, as it introduces strange beings, hybrids, and the rebellious angels whose actions led to the destruction of the world. One of the most fascinating elements of the Book of Enoch is the portrayal of the Nephilim, the giant offspring of angels and humans. The word Nephilim is often translated as fallen ones, and these beings are depicted as towering figures, feared for their strength and violence. This interpretation of the Nephilim has sparked debates among scholars. Some believe that their enormous size is due to their supernatural origins, while others argue that it's inappropriate to think of angels or demons having children with humans. Another interpretation is that the Nephilim were merely humans who strayed from the path of righteousness. The story of the Nephilim, along with the larger narrative of the Watchers and Enoch's apocalyptic visions, continues to captivate readers and scholars alike. The Book of Enoch, although excluded from the Bible, remains a source of speculation and intrigue. Its tales of fallen angels, giants, and divine judgment offer a rich tapestry of mythology, religion, and mystery that challenges traditional views of biblical history. Whether seen as a divine revelation, ancient mythology, or creative fiction, the Book of Enoch has left an indelible mark on religious thought and continues to inspire debate about the mysteries of the universe.
Now, this is quite a discovery. Fragments of a biblical scroll, along with other relics, have been found in desert caves in Israel.
Turkish authorities have confirmed that an ancient Bible thought to be 1,500 years old.
The Watchers are angelic beings described in ancient texts, particularly in the Book of Enoch, as both the sons of God and the sons of heaven. In chapter 7 of the Book of Enoch, the Watchers, also known as the Gregory, or Gregory in 2 Enoch, were tasked with observing humanity without intervening. Their role was to serve as heavenly guides, ensuring the proper development of human beings, but they were strictly prohibited from interfering with human affairs, no matter how much they may have felt compelled to do so. Despite their lofty purpose, the Watchers eventually fell from grace due to their interactions with human women, as described in one of the more controversial chapters of this ancient text. The trouble begins when humans began to multiply on Earth, and the daughters of men were noted for their exceptional beauty. The Watchers, captivated by these women, found it difficult to resist their allure. Their beauty was so great that it sparked a conversation among the Watchers, during which they decided to forsake their divine duties and take the women as wives. This decision was a direct violation of their purpose, to merely watch and not engage. The leader of the Watchers, Samyaza, also referred to as Samyaza or Samjaza, initially cautioned the other angels against this action, knowing that the consequences of such a transgression would be severe. He warned them that he would bear the punishment for their collective sin. However, the other Watchers reassured him that they would all share in the blame and together face whatever repercussions came their way. Ultimately, Samyaza relented, and the group of 200 Watchers descended to Earth. They not only took human women as their wives, but also impregnated them, resulting in the birth of hybrid beings known as the Nephilim. These Nephilim, sometimes referred to as giants, were a mixture of angels and humans, possessing extraordinary strength and size. Their presence on Earth would have catastrophic consequences. The Watchers, in addition to fathering these hybrid beings, also taught mankind forbidden knowledge. They introduced the women to sorcery, incantations, and the art of dividing roots. In essence, the Watchers revealed secrets of heaven that were never meant for human beings to know. This transgression was twofold. Not only had the Watchers corrupted God's creation by interbreeding with humans, but they had also imparted dangerous knowledge that would further corrupt humanity. The women gave birth to Nephilim, beings of immense power who soon began to wreak havoc on the earth. Genesis 6:1-4 also alludes to these events, stating that the Nephilim were on earth in those days and after, when the sons of God, interpreted by many as the Watchers, took the daughters of men and had children by them. These Nephilim are sometimes described as heroes of old, men of renown, but their influence on the world was far from heroic. As the Nephilim grew in number, they became a destructive force. They consumed all that humans had built, and, when resources ran low, turned to violence. They began to kill men, and, when that wasn't enough, they turned on each other, causing chaos and bloodshed. It was during this period of violence that another significant event occurred: the introduction of warfare. In chapter 8 of Enoch, the Watcher Azazel is singled out as the one who taught mankind the use of swords, knives, and other instruments of war. As the Watchers had taught humans the secrets of heaven, including incantations and sorcery, Azazel taught humans how to manipulate the physical world through weapons and warfare. He also introduced humans to the use of paint, stones, and dyes, allowing them to alter their environment and craft tools for their survival. Yet this newfound knowledge only brought destruction. Azazel's teachings further corrupted humanity, leading to increased impiety and fornication, multiplying humanity's transgressions. Alongside him, other Watchers continued to teach humans astrology, science, and astronomy. However, instead of advancing mankind in positive ways, this knowledge only led to further ruin. The result of the Watchers' interference with humanity was widespread destruction, and the cries of mankind's suffering reached the heavens. In response, the archangels Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel looked down from heaven and saw the devastation caused by the Watchers. In chapter 9 of the Book of Enoch, these 4 archangels took their concerns before God. They pointed out that Azazel had been the source of much of the corruption, teaching humans forbidden knowledge, and they also blamed Samyaza for leading the other Watchers into sin by encouraging them to take human wives. The Watchers' actions had created ungodly giants, the Nephilim, and brought untold suffering to the world. The archangels asked God what could be done to restore order on earth. In chapter 10, God responded by commanding Uriel to warn Noah, the son of Lamech, about the impending flood that would wipe out all life on earth as punishment for the Watchers' sins. Uriel was instructed to tell Noah to hide himself and preserve his seed so that humanity could continue after the floodwaters receded. Meanwhile, God tasked Raphael with binding Azazel. Azazel was to be bound hand and foot and cast into darkness, specifically into the desert region known as Dudael, which is often associated with the underworld, or a place of eternal punishment. The Book of Parables, another part of the Book of Enoch, adds further layers to this story. Interestingly, no fragments of the Book of Parables have been found in the Dead Sea Scrolls, though it has long been a part of the Beta Israel community's tradition. This Ethiopian Jewish community carried the Book of Enoch south from Egypt to Cush, and later to the Ethiopian highlands, where it remained a key part of their religious heritage. It is believed that the Book of Parables was part of the Beta Israel collection before 200 BC, as their primary holy text, the Orit, was based on an early Greek version of the Septuagint from around 225 to 200 BC. While scholars debate the origin of the Book of Parables, some argue that it was written during the Christian era, between 50 and 200 AD. However, many of these claims are based on assumptions, and certain interpretations of the text have been influenced by Christian translators. For example, the phrase "Son of Man," which appears throughout the Book of Parables, is often seen through a Christian lens, even though the book predates Christian theology. In summary, the tale of the Watchers, as detailed in the Book of Enoch, is a story of angelic beings who fell from grace after defying their divine mandate. Instead of merely watching over humanity, they succumbed to temptation, mated with human women, and introduced forbidden knowledge to mankind. Their actions led to the birth of the Nephilim, beings of great power who brought destruction to the world. This corruption and chaos prompted the intervention of the archangels, who sought God's guidance to restore order, leading to the eventual punishment of the Watchers and the cleansing of the earth through a great flood. The story of the Watchers continues to captivate readers and remains a subject of theological and historical debate.
The ancient Book of Enoch is a book that was quite popular during the first 700 years of church history, but then faded from sight. Nobody republished it. It disappeared until the Book of Enoch was rediscovered in the Ethiopian region of Abyssinia in the 1700s.
The discussion surrounding the interpretation of ancient texts, particularly those relating to Jesus Christ and prophetic literature, is both complex and nuanced. A significant point raised is the interpretation of a specific text, which, when closely examined, may not align directly with the narrative of Jesus Christ as understood in Christian theology. This text could be perceived as prophetic, but it predominantly seems to reference the flood of Noah rather than heralding the arrival of the Messiah, a conclusion often drawn in various messianic Jewish works. Within the Book of Parables, the figure referred to as the Son of Man is posited to be Seth, the patriarch who represents all humans that survived the cataclysmic event of the flood. The term Ben Adam, which translates to Son of Man, also conveys the meaning of Son of Adam, emphasizing Seth's lineage as the firstborn son in the genealogical accounts presented in early chapters of the biblical narrative. Moving forward into the text, the Book of Enoch, particularly chapter 37, offers 3 distinct parables. However, it is essential to recognize that these are not parables in the traditional sense, akin to those told by Jesus, but rather contain oracle-like material with a profound and serious tone. The chapters that follow, specifically chapters 38 to 44, delve into themes of judgment, addressing both the righteous and the unrighteous. Chapters 45 to 57 further explore the fates of those who deny the name of the Lord, while chapters 58 and 59 focus on the destiny of the elect. The concluding chapters weave in legendary elements surrounding the translation of Enoch, offering a rich narrative tapestry that blends history with theology. The first of the parables concerns the imminent judgment, highlighting the dichotomy between the righteous community and the sinners of the world. Chapter 38 opens with an anticipation of the righteous appearing and a proclamation of judgment against the unrighteous. The righteous one is described as leading this judgment, a theme resonant with biblical references where betrayal, such as that depicted in Mark 14:21, reflects the dire consequences for those who oppose divine authority. This motif is echoed in later Ezra literature, which similarly details the torment awaiting those who reject the divine name. In this judgment, the secrets of the righteous will be unveiled, leading to the demise of earthly kings, reinforcing the idea that divine judgment is both inevitable and universal. Enoch's experiences escalate in chapter 39, where he receives the books of zeal and wrath, among others. This chapter vividly describes Enoch's transport from the earthly realm to the heavenly domain, showcasing a vision of the dwelling places of the righteous amidst the angelic hosts. Under the protective wings of the Lord of Spirits, the righteous will offer eternal praise, establishing a contrast between their fate and that of the unrighteous. In verse 6 of this chapter, Enoch witnesses the elect one of righteousness and faith, suggesting an integral connection to the earlier description of the righteous one, reinforcing a continuity of divine authority and judgment. The subsequent chapter introduces a vision of countless angels, including 4 specific beings who are characterized as eternal sentinels before the Lord of Spirits. These figures, Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Phanuel, embody various divine attributes and responsibilities, reflecting the multifaceted nature of heavenly governance. Michael is portrayed as merciful and forbearing, while Raphael is tasked with healing. Gabriel represents divine power, and Phanuel oversees the hope of eternal life. This celestial hierarchy underscores the text's thematic focus on divine order and the assurance of righteousness amid chaos. As Enoch is further introduced to celestial mysteries in chapter 41, he learns about the nature of kingdoms and the weighing of human actions against divine standards. This chapter engages in personification, depicting wisdom searching for a place among humanity, yet ultimately returning to dwell with the angels, highlighting the tension between divine wisdom and human folly. The following chapters elaborate on cosmic secrets, exploring themes of natural phenomena, including lightning and the nomenclature of heavenly bodies. This material, particularly the astronomical book spanning chapters 72 to 82, serves as an extensive exploration of celestial mechanics, aiming to calculate the length of a year. In chapter 81, Enoch is instructed to report celestial readings to his son, Methuselah. This transmission of knowledge signifies the importance of divine revelation in guiding earthly affairs. The deterministic framework outlined in these passages appears to be predicated on astrological predictions, reflecting a worldview deeply intertwined with the cosmos. The significance of this knowledge lies in its potential to influence human behavior and communal worship, aligning with heavenly standards. The crux of this section in the Book of Enoch focuses on the appropriate calendar, positing a 364-day year against a 360-day model. While this may seem esoteric to modern readers, the calendrical precision was critical in the 1st century, directly impacting worship practices and ritual observances. The Qumran community, for instance, adhered to a 364-day calendar, condemning the priestly aristocracy for using a 360-day year, which they viewed as a significant error with spiritual ramifications. This debate highlights the intersection of time, divine instruction, and the observance of holy days, such as Passover. The underlying question posed by this conflict is whether celebrating Passover on the incorrect date constitutes a sin, a concern that echoes throughout the literature of the time. The Book of Dreams and Visions, an integral part of the Enoch literature, reflects an innovative narrative approach, presenting the history of the world through the lens of sheep, symbolizing the people of Israel, navigating threats posed by various predatory forces. This allegorical framework offers insight into the struggles faced by the Israelites against formidable foes such as Egyptian wolves, Philistine dogs, Babylonian lions, and Persian eagles. This unique perspective not only enriches the narrative, but also serves to amplify themes of survival and divine protection amid adversity. Moreover, the astronomical book, attributed to Methuselah, continues this trend but shifts back to a more prophetic tone, intertwining historical events with celestial phenomena. The first 6 chapters, which appear to be attached to the astronomical material, introduce a vision reminiscent of the flood narrative, where the sky collapses and the earth is engulfed in water. This apocalyptic imagery resonates with the descriptions found in both the Book of Enoch and canonical texts, solidifying the connection to Noah's flood, while also framing it as a judgment against sin. In the concluding chapters, fragments of additional documents emerge, including a narrative detailing the birth of Noah, possibly derived from a lost Noah apocalypse. Noah is described with striking attributes, possessing white skin, red hair, and glowing eyes, which astonishes his father, Lamech. The unusual characteristics prompt Lamech to seek advice from Methuselah, leading to an encounter with Enoch, who foretells the flood as divine retribution and names the boy Noah. This prophetic naming underscores the theological significance attributed to Noah within the context of the impending judgment, portraying him as a remnant amid widespread corruption. A contemporary perspective on the Book of Enoch has emerged, especially regarding its exclusion from the biblical canon. In discussions surrounding its omission, some assert that the removal of Enoch was a strategic move by early church leaders to control narratives and consolidate religious power. In a podcast session, for instance, commentator Katie Williams articulated frustration over the historical sidelining of certain voices, particularly those of people of color, within biblical texts. He argued that the perceived racial identity of biblical figures, including Noah's depiction as albino among a predominantly black community, serves as a significant commentary on the historical dynamics at play within the biblical narrative. In conclusion, The Book of Enoch presents a rich and intricate tapestry of prophetic literature, intertwining themes of judgment, divine authority, and cosmic order. Through its exploration of celestial mechanics, moral instruction, and allegorical narratives, it offers profound insights into the theological landscape of its time. The connections drawn between Enoch, Noah, and the broader themes of righteousness and judgment reflect the ongoing struggle for identity and divine favor in the face of adversity, resonating with the enduring quest for understanding within the human experience. As discussions about these texts continue, they provide fertile ground for further exploration of their implications and significance within both historical and contemporary contexts. What thoughts must have raced through Caiaphas's mind as he heard about Jesus' triumphal entry into Jerusalem? How did he react to the stories of Jesus overturning the tables of the money changers in the temple, Caiaphas's own domain? The temple was not just a religious center, but also a hub of economic activity, and Jesus' actions directly threatened this. Caiaphas would have had to tread carefully. On one hand, he needed to maintain order and demonstrate his authority. On the other, any harsh action against Jesus could risk inflaming public sentiment and provoking a backlash. Moreover, Caiaphas had to consider the reaction of the Roman authorities, who were always on high alert for potential uprisings. As Jesus continued to attract followers and his message spread, Caiaphas faced mounting pressure. His position demanded that he protect the sanctity of the temple and the stability of Judea. The delicate balance he had maintained between the Jewish people and their Roman overlords was at risk of collapsing. Caiaphas had to act decisively, but with caution. In a tense and pivotal moment, Caiaphas convened the Sanhedrin to discuss the threat posed by Jesus. The council deliberated on how to address the situation without inciting further unrest. Caiaphas, understanding the gravity of the situation, argued that it was better for one man to die for the people than for the whole nation to perish. This pragmatic, albeit ruthless stance highlighted his priority of preserving the greater good as he saw it. Ultimately, Caiaphas's maneuvering led to Jesus' arrest and trial. The high priest played a central role in these proceedings, questioning Jesus and seeking a justification for handing him over to the Roman authorities. The decision to involve the Romans was a calculated move, ensuring that any backlash would be mitigated by the perception that the ultimate decision lay with the Roman governor, Pontius Pilate. What thoughts must have run through Caiaphas's mind as he heard about Jesus' triumphal entry into Jerusalem? How did he react to the stories of Jesus overturning the tables of the money changers in the temple, Caiaphas's own domain? We can only imagine the late-night discussions Caiaphas must have had with other religious leaders, debating what to do about this potential threat to their authority. Little did Caiaphas know that his decisions in the coming days would forever link his name with one of the most significant events in human history. As tensions rose in Jerusalem, Caiaphas found himself at a crossroads. The choices he would make in dealing with Jesus would not only shape his own legacy, but would have far-reaching consequences that would echo through the centuries. But what exactly drove Caiaphas to take action against Jesus? Was it purely a matter of protecting his own power and position, or were there deeper religious and political motivations at play? Caiaphas confronts Jesus. As the streets of Jerusalem buzzed with excitement and tension, Caiaphas found himself facing a decision that would change the course of history. The charismatic preacher from Galilee, Jesus of Nazareth, had become more than just a minor irritation. He was now a full-blown threat to the delicate balance of power that Caiaphas had worked so hard to maintain. But what exactly was it about Jesus that worried Caiaphas so much? First and foremost, Jesus' teachings seemed to challenge the very foundations of the temple's authority. He spoke of a direct relationship with God, one that didn't necessarily require the elaborate rituals and sacrifices that were the bread and butter of the priestly class. For Caiaphas, this wasn't just a theological disagreement, it was a threat to his entire way of life and his position of power. Moreover, Jesus was attracting huge crowds. Imagine the scene. Thousands of people gathering to hear him speak, hanging on his every word. To Caiaphas, this must have been deeply alarming. In a land already simmering with rebellion against Roman rule, a charismatic leader with a large following could easily spark a full-scale uprising. And that was perhaps Caiaphas's greatest fear, that Jesus' popularity would provoke a harsh Roman response. The Romans weren't known for their gentle touch when it came to squashing rebellions. If they decided to crack down, it wouldn't just be Jesus and his followers who suffered. The entire Jewish population could face severe consequences. So, as Passover approached and tensions in the city reached a fever pitch, Caiaphas knew he had to act. According to the Gospel accounts, Caiaphas played a central role in the plot to arrest Jesus. He's described as gathering with other religious leaders to discuss how to deal with the troublesome preacher. It was during one of these meetings that Caiaphas reportedly uttered the fateful words, "It is better for you that one man die for the people than that the whole nation perish." These words give us a glimpse into Caiaphas's thinking. He saw the situation in stark, practical terms. In his mind, sacrificing one man, even if that man was innocent, was a small price to pay to prevent a potential catastrophe for the entire nation. So how did Caiaphas go about putting this plan into action? The Gospels tell us that he and the other leaders looked for a way to arrest Jesus quietly, away from the crowds. They found their opportunity when one of Jesus' own disciples, Judas Iscariot, offered to betray him. Picture the scene: a clandestine meeting between Judas and the religious leaders, perhaps in a dimly lit room in the temple complex. Money changing hands, plans being made in hushed voices. Caiaphas must have felt a mix of relief and apprehension. The wheels were now in motion. But would their plan succeed? The arrest itself took place at night in the Garden of Gethsemane. Caiaphas had sent a group of armed men, guided by Judas, to seize Jesus. In the confusion and darkness, with torches flickering and weapons gleaming, Jesus was taken into custody. What happened next was a whirlwind of events that would be debated and analyzed for centuries to come. Jesus was brought before Caiaphas and the Sanhedrin for questioning. The Gospel accounts paint a picture of a tense and dramatic confrontation. Imagine the scene. Jesus standing before Caiaphas and the other religious leaders, perhaps in the high priest's own house. The air thick with tension, accusations flying back and forth. Caiaphas, in his role as high priest, would have been at the center of this impromptu trial. According to the Gospels, Caiaphas directly questioned Jesus, demanding to know if he claimed to be the Messiah, the Son of God. When Jesus' answer was deemed blasphemous, Caiaphas reportedly tore his robes, a dramatic gesture of outrage and condemnation. But Caiaphas and the Sanhedrin didn't have the authority to carry out a death sentence. For that, they needed the approval of the Roman governor, Pontius Pilate. So, in the early hours of the morning, Jesus was taken to Pilate's headquarters. Here we see another side of Caiaphas's political skill. The charge of blasphemy that so outraged the Jewish leaders wouldn't have meant much to a Roman governor. So, the accusations against Jesus were reframed in political terms. He was presented as a threat to Roman rule, someone claiming to be the king of the Jews. This strategy worked. Despite his initial reluctance, Pilate eventually gave in to the pressure and ordered Jesus' crucifixion. Caiaphas had achieved his goal. The troublesome preacher from Galilee was eliminated, and the threat of Roman retaliation had been averted. Or so he thought. Little did Caiaphas know that his actions, far from ending the Jesus movement, would instead fuel its explosive growth. The crucifixion, rather than being the end of the story, was just the beginning. In the days and weeks that followed Jesus' crucifixion, as reports of his resurrection began to circulate and his followers grew bolder in spreading his message, Caiaphas must have realized that his problems were far from over. The immediate consequences of Caiaphas's actions began to unfold, affecting his position as high priest and his relationship with both the Jewish people and the Roman authorities. The aftermath. In the wake of Jesus' crucifixion, Caiaphas might have expected things to return to normal. He believed he had successfully eliminated a major threat to the stability of Judea. However, as the dust settled on that fateful Passover, Caiaphas soon realized that his troubles were far from over. The city was abuzz with rumors and whispers. Stories of Jesus' resurrection were spreading like wildfire, and his followers, rather than dispersing as Caiaphas might have hoped, seemed to be growing in number and boldness. For Caiaphas, this must have been deeply unsettling. He had gambled everything on the idea that executing Jesus would put an end to the movement. Instead, it seemed to have given it new life. How could this be? The Book of Acts tells us that the early Christian community in Jerusalem grew rapidly in the aftermath of Jesus' death. They preached openly in the temple courts, the very heart of Caiaphas's domain. This was a direct threat to Caiaphas's authority. But Caiaphas wasn't one to sit idly by. The Book of Acts describes how he and other religious leaders tried to suppress the early Christian movement. They arrested apostles, threatened them, and even had them flogged. Yet nothing seemed to work. The more they tried to stamp out the movement, the more it grew. This must have been incredibly frustrating for Caiaphas. He was used to being in control, to having his orders obeyed. Now, he was faced with a group of seemingly ordinary people who refused to be silenced, no matter what he did. But it wasn't just the growth of the Christian movement that was causing problems for Caiaphas. His actions during Jesus' trial and crucifixion had likely damaged his reputation among many of the Jewish people. Passover was supposed to be a time of celebration and unity for the Jewish people. Instead, Caiaphas had turned it into a time of violence and division. Many people, even if they weren't followers of Jesus, might have been uncomfortable with the way the whole situation was handled. Moreover, Caiaphas's close cooperation with the Romans in executing Jesus might have been seen by some as a betrayal of Jewish interests. In a time when many Jews were hoping for liberation from Roman rule, Caiaphas had worked hand in hand with the occupiers to execute a popular Jewish teacher. All of this put Caiaphas in a difficult position. He needed the support of the Jewish people to maintain his authority, but his actions had likely alienated many of them. At the same time, he needed to keep the Romans happy to stay in power. It was a delicate balancing act, and it was becoming increasingly difficult to maintain. Despite these challenges, Caiaphas managed to hold on to his position as high priest for several more years, but his influence was waning. The movement he had tried to stamp out was growing stronger by the day, and his own authority was slowly but surely crumbling. In the year 36 CE, about 3 years after Jesus' crucifixion, Caiaphas was finally removed from his position as high priest. The exact reasons for his removal aren't clear, but it's likely that a combination of factors, including his handling of the Jesus situation and changing political tides, contributed to his downfall. For Caiaphas, this must have been a bitter pill to swallow. He had devoted his life to climbing to the top of the religious and political hierarchy, only to see it all slip away. As he stepped down from his role, he must have wondered, had he made the right decision? Could things have turned out differently if he had handled the situation with Jesus in another way? But even as Caiaphas faded from power, the consequences of his actions continued to unfold. The movement he had tried to suppress was spreading beyond Jerusalem, beyond Judea, to the wider Roman world. What thoughts must have gone through Caiaphas's mind as he watched these events unfold, and what became of him after he left his position as high priest? The Legacy of Caiaphas: Historical Impact and Archaeological Findings. In the centuries following Caiaphas's time as high priest, his name became forever linked with the trial and crucifixion of Jesus. One of the most exciting archaeological discoveries related to Caiaphas came in 1990. In a burial cave in the Peace Forest area of Jerusalem, archaeologists uncovered an ossuary, a limestone bone box with a remarkable inscription. Carved into the side were the words, "Joseph, son of Caiaphas," believed to refer to the very Caiaphas mentioned in the New Testament. This find was groundbreaking. For the first time, we had physical evidence directly linked to the high priest who played such a crucial role in Jesus' trial. The ossuary, dated to the 1st century CE, contained the bones of a 60-year-old man, along with those of several younger individuals, likely family members. This discovery provided a tangible connection to the historical figure of Caiaphas and offered new insights into his life and times. The legacy of Caiaphas is a complex one. On the one hand, he is remembered as the high priest who presided over the trial of Jesus, a pivotal event in Christian history. On the other hand, archaeological findings and historical records have helped to paint a fuller picture of his role in the religious and political life of his time. Caiaphas was a man navigating a turbulent period, trying to maintain order and authority amidst growing tensions between the Jewish people and Roman rule. As history has shown, Caiaphas's attempts to suppress the Christian movement were ultimately unsuccessful. The movement continued to grow, spreading throughout the Roman Empire and beyond. The decisions made by Caiaphas, intended to protect his position and maintain stability, had far-reaching consequences that shaped the course of history. The discovery of the Caiaphas ossuary sparked intense interest among archaeologists and biblical scholars. Subjected to rigorous testing and analysis to confirm its authenticity, the Israel Antiquities Authority declared it genuine. However, as with many archaeological finds, some scholars raised questions about its provenance. Nevertheless, this discovery provides valuable insights into the historical figure of Caiaphas. Firstly, the discovery confirms that Caiaphas was a real historical figure, not just a character in religious texts. The ossuary's elaborate nature also speaks to Caiaphas's high status in Jerusalem society. The bone box, ornately decorated with intricate floral designs, indicates that it belonged to a wealthy and influential family. This detail aligns with historical accounts of Caiaphas's position and influence. The ossuary also sheds light on the burial practices of the time. The use of ossuaries was common among wealthy Jews in the 1st century CE. Bodies were first laid in a tomb. After about a year, when only bones remained, they were collected and placed in an ossuary. This practice reflects beliefs about the afterlife and the importance of proper burial in Jewish tradition. Such insights help us understand the cultural and religious context in which Caiaphas lived. Another significant archaeological find related to Caiaphas is the ancient steps leading to what is believed to be his house on Mount Zion. These steps, uncovered by archaeologists, are thought to be the very ones Jesus would have climbed when he was brought to Caiaphas for questioning. Walking these steps today provides visitors with a tangible connection to the dramatic events described in the Gospels. The site, now known as the Church of St. Peter in Gallicantu, has been a place of pilgrimage for centuries. Excavations have revealed a complex of ruins dating back to the 1st century, including what may have been a guard room and even a dungeon. While we can't be certain this was indeed Caiaphas's house, The archaeological evidence suggests it was the residence of a person of high status during Jesus' time. Beyond these physical artifacts, we learn about Caiaphas from historical writings. The Jewish historian Josephus mentions Caiaphas several times in his works, confirming his tenure as high priest from 18 to 36 CE. Josephus provides valuable context about the political climate of the time, helping us understand the pressures and challenges Caiaphas would have faced. In his work, Antiquities of the Jews, Josephus describes how Caiaphas was appointed high priest by the Roman prefect Valerius Gratus, predecessor to Pontius Pilate. This appointment underscores the complex relationship between Jewish religious authorities and Roman political power. High priests were no longer chosen solely based on religious qualifications, but also on their ability to maintain order and cooperate with Roman authorities. Josephus also mentions Caiaphas's removal from office in 36 CE by the Syrian governor Vitellius. This event coincided with the recall of Pontius Pilate to Rome, suggesting a significant shift in Roman policy towards Judea at that time. The fact that Caiaphas held his position for 18 years, an unusually long tenure for a high priest in that era, indicates his skill in navigating the treacherous political waters of his time. The New Testament, particularly the Gospels and the Book of Acts, provides another source of information about Caiaphas, albeit from a distinctly Christian perspective. These accounts portray Caiaphas as a key figure in the plot against Jesus, presiding over his trial and pushing for his crucifixion. While these texts are not considered unbiased historical documents, they offer valuable insights into how early Christians viewed Caiaphas and the religious establishment he represented. One of the most famous quotes attributed to Caiaphas comes from the Gospel of John, where he says, "It is better for you that one man die for the people than that the whole nation perish." This statement has been interpreted in various ways by theologians and historians. Some see it as a cold political calculation, while others view it as an unwitting prophecy about Jesus' sacrificial death. Caiaphas's legacy extends far beyond archaeological and historical records. His actions, as described in the New Testament, have been the subject of theological discussions and debates for centuries. Christian traditions often portray Caiaphas as a villain, the man who condemned Jesus to death. However, some scholars argue for a more nuanced view, seeing Caiaphas as a political pragmatist caught between the demands of his faith, his people, and the Roman occupiers. In Jewish history, Caiaphas is often viewed more neutrally. He is seen as one in a line of high priests who had to navigate the difficult waters of Roman occupation. Some Jewish scholars point out that Caiaphas's long tenure as high priest suggests he was skilled at maintaining stability in a turbulent period. This was no small feat, given the constant threat of rebellion and the delicate balance of power between Jewish authorities and Roman rulers. Understanding Caiaphas fully requires considering the world he lived in. He was a figure of immense influence and authority, navigating a complex and often hostile political landscape. His decisions during the trial and crucifixion of Jesus were influenced by a mix of religious, political, and personal factors. While his actions have been scrutinized and debated for centuries, they provide a window into the challenges faced by Jewish leaders under Roman rule. Through archaeological discoveries and historical writings, we gain a deeper understanding of Caiaphas's role in one of history's most pivotal moments. First-century Judea was a crucible of political and religious tensions. The Jewish people, chafing under Roman rule, were caught in the throes of messianic expectations that stirred unrest and division. This tumultuous period saw various Jewish sects, Pharisees, Sadducees, Essenes, and others, competing fiercely for influence and authority. As high priest and head of the Sanhedrin, Caiaphas was at the epicenter of this conflict. He was tasked with managing internal divisions among the Jewish factions, while simultaneously maintaining a delicate peace with the Roman authorities. His role was one of immense complexity and responsibility, navigating the treacherous waters of politics and religion. Archaeological excavations from Caiaphas's time have provided a wealth of information about daily life in Jerusalem. The city was undergoing significant expansion and renovation under Herod the Great and his successors, resulting in a dramatic transformation of its urban landscape. The temple, the spiritual and religious heart of Jewish life, was a massive complex that dominated the city's skyline. Recent excavations in the city of David and around the Temple Mount have uncovered streets, houses, and ritual baths, known as mikvehs, that would have been familiar to Caiaphas and his contemporaries. These finds offer a tangible glimpse into the environment in which Caiaphas operated and the daily life of first-century Jerusalemites. The story of Caiaphas extends beyond historical and archaeological contexts into art and literature. He appears as a character in numerous paintings, plays, and films depicting the life of Jesus. These portrayals have shaped popular perceptions of Caiaphas, often emphasizing his role in the condemnation of Jesus. Over time, artistic representations have ranged from depicting him as a one-dimensional villain to portraying him as a more complex figure torn between duty and conscience. This varied portrayal reflects the ongoing fascination with Caiaphas and the ways in which his actions have been interpreted through different lenses. In more recent times, Caiaphas has become a focal point of interest for historians and archaeologists studying the political and religious landscape of first-century Judea. By examining Caiaphas's role and actions, scholars have gained valuable insights into the intricate relationship between Jewish religious authorities and Roman political power during this pivotal period. His actions and decisions provide a window into the challenges faced by Jewish leaders under Roman occupation and the ways in which they navigated the demands of their roles. The legacy of Caiaphas underscores how a single historical figure can have a profound and lasting impact. His story intersects with one of the most significant events in religious history, the trial and crucifixion of Jesus. As such, it continues to captivate scholars and laypeople alike. The ongoing archaeological work in Jerusalem and its surrounding areas holds promise for uncovering even more information about Caiaphas and his world. Such discoveries could further illuminate the complexities of his role and the context in which he operated. One area of ongoing research involves the study of ancient Jewish priestly families. Genetic studies of modern populations claiming descent from the ancient priesthood, those with the Cohen surname, have revealed a common Y chromosome haplotype. This suggests a shared ancestry dating back to ancient times. While we cannot directly link this to Caiaphas, it provides intriguing possibilities for understanding the priestly lineages of his era. Such studies might help clarify the broader context of priestly authority and family connections during Caiaphas's time. Another avenue of research is the exploration of ancient texts beyond the Bible and Josephus. The Dead Sea Scrolls, for example, offer valuable insights into the diverse religious landscape of first-century Judaism. Although these texts do not mention Caiaphas directly, they shed light on the theological debates and power struggles that would have influenced his world. Understanding these broader religious and social contexts can enhance our comprehension of Caiaphas's actions and decisions. Despite the wealth of information available, questions about Caiaphas remain. How accurately do the gospel accounts portray his role in Jesus' trial? What additional details might future archaeological discoveries reveal about his life and times? How should we interpret Caiaphas's actions in light of the political and religious pressures he faced? As we continue to uncover new evidence and re-examine old sources, our understanding of Caiaphas and his era evolves. His story serves as a reminder of the complex interplay between religion and politics, and the profound impact that decisions made in one moment can have on the course of history.
11 now. It's a nervous night for residents of Fair Lawn, New Jersey, wondering if it will happen again. For about a week there, the area's been plagued by loud, booming sounds. Problem is, no one knows where the sound is coming from.
We were like looking at each other like, what was that?
Welcome back to our channel. Today, we have a truly extraordinary story that is capturing the attention of the world. In Jerusalem, rumors are spreading like wildfire. The long-lost Ark of the Covenant might have been discovered within the ancient city's confines. But that's not all. There are also reports of sightings of Jesus Christ and an enigmatic, powerful humming sound emanating from the skies above. These events are sparking intense speculation and raising profound questions about their significance. Could these phenomena be interconnected, signaling the approaching apocalypse? Stick around until the end of the video to find out more about these incredible events. Before we dive into the main content, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive updates on our latest videos. Your support means a lot to us. Feel free to leave your comments with feedback on the content and any topics you're interested in. Have a great day. Jerusalem, the very name evokes images of ancient walls, bustling marketplaces, and a skyline dominated by golden domes and spires. This city, nestled in the Judean mountains, pulsates with an energy unlike any other. Carved by millennia of history, Jerusalem is a tapestry woven from the threads of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. For Jews, Jerusalem is the heart of their faith, the eternal city where King David established his capital and Solomon built the first temple. The Western Wall, a remnant of the Second Temple's retaining wall, is the holiest site in Judaism, a place of prayer and pilgrimage. For Christians, Jerusalem is the city where Jesus Christ preached, performed miracles, and ultimately died on the cross. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, a magnificent basilica, is believed to encompass the site of Jesus' crucifixion and burial. Muslims hold Jerusalem in high esteem as well. The Dome of the Rock, a shimmering golden structure, sits on the Temple Mount, believed to be the location where Abraham prepared to sacrifice his son Ishmael. This sacred plateau is also where Muslims believe the Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven. Jerusalem's significance transcends its religious tapestry. It's a vibrant, modern city with a thriving art scene, bustling markets overflowing with spices and crafts, and a rich culinary tradition. Walk down any street, and you'll encounter a kaleidoscope of languages, ethnicities, and cultures. Everywhere you turn, history unfolds before you, making Jerusalem a living museum. The Ark of the Covenant, a gilded wooden chest enshrined in religious lore, has captivated imaginations for millennia. Described in the Hebrew Bible as the most sacred relic of the Israelites, it housed the stone tablets upon which the Ten Commandments, the foundational laws of their covenant with God, were inscribed. According to the Book of Exodus, the Ark wasn't just a repository, it was a portable sanctuary for the divine presence. Crafted from acacia wood, overlaid with pure gold, it was topped by a mercy seat, a lid adorned with two golden cherubim winged angelic beings facing each other. This elaborate design underscored the Ark's significance as a conduit between humanity and the divine. The Bible details the Ark's pivotal role in the Israelites' journey. It served as a beacon during their exodus from Egypt, miraculously parting the Red Sea to grant them passage. Once settled in Canaan, the Ark resided within the most sacred chamber of the tabernacle, a portable sanctuary, and later within the Temple of Jerusalem, a permanent structure dedicated to God. However, the Ark's story takes a dramatic turn after the destruction of the First Temple by the Babylonians in 586 BCE. The biblical account remains silent on its fate, fueling centuries of speculation and myth-making. Theories about the Ark's whereabouts are as numerous as they are diverse. Some believe it was destroyed alongside the temple, its sacred contents lost forever. Others posit it was spirited away by the conquering Babylonians, perhaps even becoming a trophy in a foreign temple. Intriguingly, some Jewish traditions suggest the Ark was divinely hidden before the temple's destruction, a protective measure to prevent its desecration. This belief has fueled a fervent hope for its rediscovery, potentially heralding the arrival of the Messiah. The Ark's allure extends far beyond the confines of the Bible. It has become a potent symbol in various cultures and faiths, often intertwined with fantastical elements. Ethiopian Orthodox Christians believe the Ark resides in Aksum, an ancient city in Ethiopia, safeguarded by their church. Legends abound about its capture by King Menelik I, the son of the Queen of Sheba and King Solomon. In the realm of fiction, the Ark has become a recurring motif, often portrayed as possessing immense power. The Indiana Jones movies and countless adventure novels depict daring quests to recover the lost Ark, usually from the clutches of evil forces. These portrayals, while exciting, highlight the Ark's enduring mystique and the human fascination with its mystery. In modern times, the Ark of the Covenant continues to inspire intrigue and speculation. Archaeologists, theologians, and adventurers alike have embarked on quests to locate it, spurred by a mixture of faith, curiosity, and the hope of uncovering one of history's most elusive treasures. The search for the Ark touches on deep spiritual and cultural chords, reflecting humanity's perennial quest for meaning and connection with the divine. Jerusalem, with its rich historical and religious significance, remains at the center of these quests. The city's layered past and its role as a focal point for the three major Abrahamic religions make it a natural epicenter for such mysteries. As rumors of the Ark's possible discovery resurface, they ignite both hope and controversy. Could the Ark truly be hidden within the city's ancient confines, waiting to be revealed at a moment of divine choosing? This question intertwines with contemporary sightings and events that stir the collective imagination. Recent reports from Jerusalem have claimed sightings of Jesus Christ and an enigmatic, powerful humming sound emanating from the skies. These phenomena have sparked intense speculation and raised profound questions about their significance. Are these events interconnected, signaling a new chapter in Jerusalem's storied history, or perhaps even the approaching apocalypse? As the world watches, Jerusalem continues to be a city where the past and present collide in powerful and often unexpected ways. Its streets, temples, and relics hold stories that span millennia, echoing with the footsteps of prophets, kings, and pilgrims. The mystery of the Ark of the Covenant is but one thread in the rich tapestry of Jerusalem's heritage, a symbol of the divine connection that has drawn people to this ancient city for thousands of years. However, the Ark's journey took a dramatic turn after the destruction of the first temple by the Babylonians in 586 BCE. The biblical account falls silent on its fate, leaving a void filled with centuries of speculation and myth-making. Some believe it was destroyed alongside the temple, its sacred contents lost forever. Others posit it was spirited away by the conquering Babylonians, perhaps even becoming a trophy in a foreign temple. Intriguingly, some Jewish traditions suggest the Ark was divinely hidden before the temple's destruction, a protective measure to prevent its desecration. This belief has fueled a fervent hope for its rediscovery, potentially heralding the arrival of the Messiah. The allure of the Ark extends far beyond religious texts. It has become a potent symbol in various cultures and faiths, often intertwined with fantastical elements. Ethiopian Orthodox Christians believe the Ark resides in Aksum, an ancient city in Ethiopia, safeguarded by their church. Legends abound about its capture by King Menelik I, the son of the Queen of Sheba and King Solomon. In the realm of fiction, the Ark has become a recurring motif, often portrayed as possessing immense power. The Indiana Jones movies and countless adventure novels depict daring quests to recover the lost Ark, usually from the clutches of evil forces. These portrayals, while exciting, highlight the Ark's enduring mystique and the human fascination with its mystery. In modern times, the Ark of the Covenant continues to inspire intrigue and speculation. Archaeologists, theologians, and adventurers alike have embarked on quests to locate it, spurred by a mixture of faith, curiosity, and the hope of uncovering one of history's most elusive treasures. The search for the Ark touches on deep spiritual and cultural chords, reflecting humanity's perennial quest for meaning and connection with the divine. The discovery of the Ark of the Covenant was not the only phenomenon reported. There were also claims of miraculous sightings of Jesus Christ in Jerusalem. Some proclaimed that Jesus walked the streets and appeared in the sky once more. The first reports came from the margins of society. A beggar woman swore that a gentle hand had steadied her as she stumbled, leaving a warmth that lingered long after the coins clinked in her cup. A weary soldier reported a similar experience. These accounts, though seemingly unrelated, added to the city's sense of awe and trepidation. They reflected a longing for divine intervention and reassurance in times of uncertainty and turmoil. Haunted by the horrors of war, an old soldier spoke of encountering a man with eyes that held the vastness of the desert, whose mere touch seemed to calm his soul. Skepticism ran rampant as people wondered whether these experiences were products of wishful thinking, religious fervor, or the desert sun playing tricks on weary minds. Yet, more accounts began to emerge. A baker, known for his gruff demeanor and even gruffer bread, returned from the market profoundly changed. Tears welled in his eyes as he recounted meeting a man with calloused hands, hands accustomed to kneading dough, who had helped him with a heavy load. The man's words had soothed a deep ache in his heart. This baker, who scoffed at superstition, found himself inexplicably lighter, with a renewed joy in his craft. The city held its breath. Rumors that had been confined to hushed conversations now roared through bustling alleyways and echoed in ancient courtyards. Curiosity, tinged with a sliver of hope, drew people in. A young woman, ostracized for her past, found a single perfect rose on her doorstep, a silent offering of forgiveness. Children playing near the Wailing Wall swore they saw a figure silhouetted against the setting sun, his hands outstretched in a silent blessing. Religious authorities were the last to acknowledge these whispers, navigating the thin line between faith and fanaticism with practiced caution. Yet even the most hardened clerics couldn't ignore the growing fervor. The city, once jaded and weary, pulsated with renewed energy. Kindness bloomed in unexpected corners, and long-held grudges softened, replaced by tentative peace. Was this the work of a mere man? A charismatic con artist preying on the vulnerable? Or was something more profound unfolding in their midst? One evening, as the city bathed in the golden glow of twilight, a commotion erupted near the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. A crowd, a kaleidoscope of faces etched with awe and disbelief, parted to reveal a man appearing in the sky. He was tall and lean, with hair the color of burnished wheat and eyes that held the wisdom of ages. His presence commanded attention, and the murmur that rippled through the crowd was a single word: Yeshua, the Hebrew name for Jesus. He spoke softly, his voice a balm to the city's weary soul. He didn't preach fire and brimstone nor promise a world free of suffering. Instead, he spoke of love, forgiveness, and the strength that resided within each individual to overcome darkness. He spoke of hope, a flickering ember fanned into a roaring flame. His message wasn't new, but its delivery resonated with a power that transcended time and circumstance. It was a sound both haunting and majestic, carrying an otherworldly quality that stirred the depths of the soul. Many who experienced it swore it could not be of this earth, as if the very fabric of reality had momentarily shifted to accommodate its presence. This celestial symphony ruptured the calm of Jerusalem, permeating its ancient streets and sacred spaces with an energy that felt divine. It was as though the heavens themselves had opened, unveiling a spectacle beyond human comprehension. Imagine standing upon the ancient stones of Jerusalem, the city bathed in the golden hue of the setting sun, only for the air to be suddenly filled with the sound of trumpets. Not just any trumpets, but those heralding something beyond our understanding. Something that speaks directly to the soul of every believer, and even to those yet to believe. As abruptly as he appeared, he vanished, but the echo of his words lingered long after he was gone. Was it truly Jesus, a divine manifestation in the heart of a turbulent city? Or was it a catalyst, a figure who sparked change within the hearts and minds of the people themselves? The answer, perhaps, wasn't as important as the change itself. Jerusalem, a city steeped in history and conflict, found itself on the precipice of something new. The air crackled with hesitant optimism, a belief that even in the face of hardship, kindness could prevail. Skeptics remained, of course, but even they couldn't deny the intangible shift. The city, once resigned to its fate, now held the potential for something brighter, something imbued with the faint scent of miracles and the quiet murmur of hope. While some dismissed these sightings as mere hallucinations or hoaxes, others viewed them as evidence of a divine presence in the city. The possibility of Jesus Christ's return has long been a subject of fascination and debate among religious scholars and believers, and these recent sightings have only fueled the conversation. The simultaneous occurrences of the rumored discovery of the Ark of the Covenant, sightings of Jesus Christ, and the enigmatic humming in Jerusalem have ignited intense speculation about their interconnection.
Police in Turkey have recovered a Bible thought to be 1,000 years old, the holy book which was found in the central Turkish city of Tokat.
Israeli archaeologists working to prevent caves in the area from being looted filmed the moment of their discovery. They'd found ancient verses from the books of the prophets Zechariah and Nahum in the Hebrew Bible.
Imagine stumbling upon an ancient book, a time capsule of stories from the past. But this isn't just any book. It's a newly discovered Bible that's sparking debates across the globe, from Christian believers to atheists alike. Hidden within its pages are shocking secrets and chilling tales that have the world buzzing. What exactly is written in these ancient texts? And why should it matter to everyone, no matter your beliefs? Let's dive in and uncover the mind-blowing mysteries buried within this legendary find. We are Jesus' Eternal Aura. In today's video, you will have appropriate answers to all the questions above. Before you know what happened, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and click the bell icon for all the latest updates.
Cuneiform tablets, ancient Mesopotamian clay tablets, clay bullae, and seal impressions. This is just a fraction of the artifacts that were stolen from archaeological sites in Iraq and smuggled into the United States.
The discovery of the ancient Book of St. Barnabas has captivated both scholars and believers worldwide, offering a new perspective on the life and teachings of Jesus Christ. Christians have long been immersed in the narratives of the Bible, with its two major sections, the Old and New Testaments, forming the foundation of their faith. These scriptures recount the story of Jesus, his teachings, and his crucifixion, serving as evidence of his earthly existence. Despite some minor variations in the details across the Bible's books and authors, the overarching message remains consistent, confirming Jesus' presence in history. However, the recent unearthing of a 2,000-year-old text challenges some of Christianity's core beliefs, particularly the widely accepted story of Jesus' crucifixion. This remarkable discovery is not a Bible in the conventional sense, but rather an ancient manuscript attributed to St. Barnabas, a close associate of Apostle Paul. This text came to light during a foiled smuggling attempt by antiquities thieves, and alongside other treasures, this document was preserved. The book itself is made of animal hide, written in an ancient and highly challenging to replicate script. What makes this manuscript even more intriguing is the language in which it was written. Syriac, a dialect of Aramaic, which is believed to be the native language of Jesus. Estimated to be between 1,500 and 2,000 years old, this book has been valued at approximately $20 million. However, it is not just the age, value, or craftsmanship of the text that has piqued the interest of scholars and religious historians. It is the content of the Gospel of Barnabas that has drawn the most attention. The narrative within this Gospel offers a version of events that radically differs from the canonical Gospels of the New Testament, specifically in its account of Jesus' crucifixion and divine status. According to the Gospel of Barnabas, it was not Jesus who was crucified, but Judas Iscariot, the disciple who betrayed him. In this version of the story, Jesus ascends to heaven while still alive, evading death on the cross entirely. This claim directly contradicts the New Testament's central account, which holds that Jesus was crucified, died, and was resurrected 3 days later. Furthermore, the Gospel of Barnabas presents Jesus not as the Son of God, a fundamental tenet of Christian belief, but as a prophet who was sent to deliver God's message. This perspective aligns more closely with Islamic teachings about Jesus, known in Islam as Isa, who is also considered a prophet and not divine. The book's most provocative accusation, however, is its portrayal of Apostle Paul as an impostor. Paul is one of the most significant figures in Christian history, credited with writing many of the letters in the New Testament and playing a pivotal role in spreading Christianity throughout the Roman Empire. For the Gospel of Barnabas to challenge Paul's legitimacy is a bold assertion that has raised many questions among scholars. This discovery has prompted a re-examination of the formation of the New Testament itself. Some researchers speculate that early church councils may have deliberately excluded the Gospel of Barnabas from the biblical canon due to its controversial nature. These councils, which decided which books would be included in the Bible, may have preferred more conventional and theologically aligned texts over those that presented radically different views. The exclusion of such texts may have shaped the theological framework of Christianity as it is known today. Adding to the mystery is the fact that St. Barnabas is one of the few prominent figures in Christian history whose death is not recorded in the Bible. This omission has led some scholars to suggest that the Gospel of Barnabas may have been excluded from the canon precisely because it lacked this crucial detail, further complicating its acceptance by early Christian authorities. Despite this, the ancient manuscript continues to draw interest from both religious scholars and the Vatican itself, which has launched its own investigation into the text. For those who have studied the contents of the Gospel of Barnabas, many now believe that the book is genuine and not a forgery. The historical, linguistic, and cultural elements of the text have been thoroughly examined, and while some skepticism remains, there is growing consensus that the manuscript is an authentic piece of early Christian history. This discovery of the Gospel of Barnabas is not the only revelation that has stirred controversy within Christian circles. The Catholic Church, with its deep and complex history, has long held vast collections of ancient scriptures and documents, some of which remain inaccessible to the public. The Vatican's Apostolic Archive, which spans an astonishing 53 miles, is said to house tens of thousands of books chronicling historical events, many of which are shrouded in mystery. It is within these hidden records that some believe further insights into Christian history may lie, including possibly forgotten or suppressed texts that challenge traditional beliefs. The Bible, revered as one of the most sacred texts in history, has a long and complex history of its own. It is believed to have been written around 1000 BC by figures like Moses, and includes many of the most famous stories of the Christian faith. From the parable of the Good Samaritan to the miracle of feeding thousands with just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, the Bible has shaped the spiritual lives of billions of people throughout history. Yet, despite its immense influence, the original version of the Bible contained more books than are found in today's editions. 14 texts from the original Bible remain undisclosed in contemporary versions, raising questions about what else may have been omitted or altered throughout history. This sense of mystery surrounding the Bible, along with the rediscovery of ancient texts like the Gospel of Barnabas, continues to fuel scholarly inquiry and public curiosity. Whether these texts provide new insights into the life of Jesus or offer alternate perspectives on religious history, they add complexity to the Christian narrative and invite believers and scholars alike to explore the deeper layers of their faith. In addition to these ancient scriptures, religious history is filled with stories of mysterious beings and spiritual phenomena. One such concept is that of demonic possession, the idea that a person's behavior may be controlled by an external spirit or demon. Accounts of demonic possession often involve symptoms such as memory loss, loss of self-control, and hearing voices. While such stories have been part of religious and cultural traditions for centuries, they continue to captivate the imagination today, appearing in various forms of media and popular culture. One particularly well-known figure in the realm of demonic entities is Valak, a demon whose presence has been featured in various films and stories. However, in contrast to its portrayal in popular culture, where it is often depicted as a nun, Valak is described in ancient texts such as the Lesser Key of Solomon as a powerful being capable of commanding serpents to do its bidding. This depiction of Valak adds another layer to the complex and often misunderstood narratives surrounding demonic possession and spiritual warfare. Ultimately, the discovery of the Book of St. Barnabas and the ongoing exploration of ancient religious texts highlight the richness and complexity of Christian history. These revelations invite both believers and scholars to delve deeper into the foundations of their faith, challenging long-held assumptions and offering new perspectives on the life of Jesus, the formation of the Bible, and the mysteries that continue to shape religious belief today.
The Epistle of Barnabas is a curious epistle that surprisingly has some messages that ring true with modern Christians.
The exploration of ancient texts, particularly those delving into the supernatural, captivates historians and scholars alike. Among these, a particular book stands out, weaving together spells, magical tricks, natural mysteries, and ancient wisdom, all of which center around the mysterious figure of Valak. This enigmatic being, though central to certain mythologies, is just one among many entities that populate ancient lore. Countless similar figures have either faded into obscurity or been deliberately concealed, leaving an air of mystery surrounding their origins. Many novels across time have explored these creatures, though much remains hidden within historical texts and volumes tucked away from public view. Speculation about secret documents stored within the Vatican only adds to the intrigue, suggesting that many untold secrets about these beings are unlikely to ever surface. Italy and Ireland, two nations steeped in religious tradition, are home to a growing number of religious experts, including Vatican and Anglican priests, who agree on one troubling phenomenon: the rise of demonic possession. Both religious and scientific professionals have raised concerns, though they also caution against the potential for spiritual abuse. Father Dino, a respected exorcist from Sicily, notes the ongoing debate within the Catholic Church about the legitimacy and understanding of exorcism practices. He stresses the importance of proper training for exorcists, acknowledging that even those well-versed in exorcisms can make mistakes. Across the water in Ireland, Father Collins has seen a growing demand from the public for guidance in dealing with perceived demonic forces, reflecting an increase in people seeking help for spiritual afflictions in recent years. Biblical references provide some historical context for exorcism practices, particularly through the accounts of Jesus casting out demons from the afflicted in the New Testament. Catholic priests have since developed a framework to categorize different forms of demonic possession. One such type is obsession, characterized by irrational behavior, obsessive thoughts, and self-harm tendencies. These symptoms often manifest in nightmares, tormenting the individuals they afflict. Another form, known as possession, takes control of the victim's body, forcing them to act against their morality and values. This form of possession is often viewed as a result of the individual's actions that may have opened the door to satanic influence, suggesting a level of responsibility on the victim's part in Catholic doctrine. Exploring these spiritual phenomena within religious contexts adds layers of complexity to the conversation, inviting questions about faith, the supernatural, and personal accountability. The Catholic Church distinguishes between possessions and infestations, where demons inhabit objects, animals, or even houses. Another lesser-known phenomenon is subjection, where individuals willingly surrender their free will and allow themselves to become vessels for demonic forces. While this concept is rare, it demonstrates the Church's belief in varying degrees of spiritual influence. Signs of possession can be both strange and alarming. Some victims exhibit superhuman strength, speak in languages they have never learned, or possess knowledge of obscure information previously unknown to them. These individuals may also display heretical beliefs, excessive rage, or engage in constant swearing. Catholic doctrine, however, urges caution, as such behaviors can sometimes be symptoms of mental health issues. The Church stresses the importance of differentiating between genuine possession and psychological conditions, warning against conflating the two. Exorcisms are viewed as remedies for possession, but are subject to strict guidelines within the Catholic Church. Only authorized priests, acting under the supervision of a bishop, are permitted to perform exorcisms, following a rigorous process. Despite these regulations, many people bypass the official channels, seeking help from unauthorized exorcists. This clandestine pursuit of spiritual relief adds another layer of intrigue to the world of exorcisms and the Church's role in addressing demonic activity. In addition to these spiritual mysteries, religious texts outside the canonical Bible, such as the Gospel of Thomas, offer a different perspective on early Christianity. Among the early Christian writings that did not make it into the New Testament, few have captured modern readers' imaginations as much as this Gospel. The Gospel of Thomas presents a radically distinct vision of Christianity, one that resonates deeply with independent spiritual seekers of the modern age, regardless of their religious affiliations. Rather than narrating the events of Jesus' life, the Gospel of Thomas comprises 114 sayings attributed to Jesus. While some of these sayings echo versions found in the New Testament books of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, most are unique to the Gospel of Thomas. Notably, saying number 17 also appears in 1 Corinthians 2:9, attributed to the Apostle Paul. This overlap provides a fascinating connection between the Gospel of Thomas and the New Testament, although the majority of its content is exclusive to this text. The name Thomas plays a significant role in understanding this Gospel's message. The name, which means twin in both Aramaic and Syriac, implies a profound spiritual connection between Thomas and Jesus. However, much like the New Testament Gospels, the Gospel of Thomas is not written by the apostle himself. Instead, Thomas is portrayed as Jesus' spiritual twin, symbolizing a deep spiritual resemblance achieved through the attainment of gnosis. This term, gnosis, refers to salvation through mystical knowledge and an experiential understanding of the true spiritual nature of reality, particularly the essence of the self. This concept of gnosis sets the Gospel of Thomas apart from other Christian writings. It presents the possibility that anyone can achieve a mystical likeness to Jesus. This idea is encapsulated in saying 108, where Jesus declares, "Whoever drinks from my mouth will become as I am. I too will become him, and the hidden things will be shown to him." Here, gnosis is not simply intellectual knowledge, but a deeper, spiritual awareness that transcends ordinary understanding. The text suggests that this form of knowledge cannot be fully communicated through words alone, but must be experienced. Jesus' responses to his disciples in the Gospel of Thomas often take the form of enigmatic sayings rather than straightforward instructions. When the disciples seek clear guidelines for salvation, Jesus rebukes their literal interpretations, encouraging them instead to embrace a more intuitive and subtle mode of understanding. This theme of transcending rigid, critical thought echoes throughout the Gospel, urging readers to engage with the text on a spiritual level rather than a purely intellectual one. The Gospel of Thomas reflects early Christian concerns with Jesus' second coming and the imminent arrival of God's kingdom. However, its emphasis on individual spiritual transformation through gnosis offers a distinctly different approach to salvation, one that continues to captivate modern readers. By inviting individuals to seek a mystical understanding of reality, the Gospel of Thomas offers a spiritual journey that challenges conventional religious frameworks and encourages a deeper exploration of faith. The Nephilim, a mysterious and debated group mentioned briefly in the Bible, have captured the imagination of scholars and theologians alike. Many posit that these figures were the offspring of the sons of God and human women, an idea prominently outlined in the first book of Enoch, a non-canonical Jewish text. Enoch describes the Nephilim as giants of extraordinary size, linking them to supernatural origins and suggesting their existence was the result of a divine and human union. This association with divine beings raises complex theological questions about the possibility of angels or demons physically mating with humans. Some interpretations of the Nephilim emphasize their extraordinary stature and might, proposing that these figures were not just larger than life physically, but were also great warriors. Their supernatural lineage seems to explain their perceived enormity and strength. However, this perspective opens up further debate, particularly around the role of angels and demons in human affairs. An alternative viewpoint, less rooted in the supernatural, suggests that the Nephilim were simply sinful men. This interpretation is part of what is called the Scythian view, which was supported by early Christian figures like Saint Augustine and various Jewish scholars. According to this perspective, the Nephilim were descendants of Seth, Adam's righteous son, who later turned away from God. The daughters of mankind mentioned in these passages are understood to be the ungodly women descended from Cain, the wicked son of Adam. This interpretation avoids the notion of supernatural beings mating with humans, instead framing the Nephilim as ordinary people who had forsaken their divine heritage. The Nephilim's towering stature and reputation as great warriors have led to numerous interpretations about their place in ancient narratives, whether taken literally or metaphorically. The first book of Enoch, a significant text in this discussion, ventures beyond the Nephilim and delves into the apocalyptic with its parables of similitude. This section offers prophetic visions about the Son of Man and the Ancient of Days, concepts that align closely with later biblical prophecies, particularly those found in the Book of Revelation. The Book of Enoch also contains an astronomical book, which provides intricate details about the stars and their roles, as well as a fantastical visions section. These prophecies span the entirety of human history, navigating through events from the beginning of time to the end times and final judgment. Enoch's detailed descriptions of celestial events and their significance add an element of mystery and awe to the text, drawing parallels to the structure and themes found in the Book of Daniel, particularly in its Week's Prophecy section. Throughout the various parts of Enoch, there is a common theme of impending punishment for the wicked and blessings for the righteous. A surprising revelation occurs in the Noah sections of the book, where a previously untold story of Noah emerges. This narrative sheds light on the sorrows experienced by his father, Lamech, and his grandfather, Methuselah. It also reveals Noah's divine mission to save humanity. However, this story introduces an interesting inconsistency with the Bible. According to the Bible, Enoch ascended to heaven long before Noah was born, yet Enoch chapter 10 verses 1 to 3 mentions Noah in connection with a divine message. In this passage, the Most Holy One speaks to Lamech's son in the presence of the archangel Uriel, instructing him to deliver a crucial message to Noah about the impending flood. This raises an intriguing question. How could Enoch have known about Noah and the flood if he ascended to heaven before Noah's birth? This enigma deepens the mystery surrounding the Book of Enoch, as it appears to present knowledge and events not accounted for in the Bible. Another striking element of Enoch's narrative is its attribution of the earth's pollution to a demon named Azazel. In chapter 10, verses 8 to 9, it is alleged that Azazel, under demonic influence, imparted knowledge that led to widespread wickedness, defiling the earth. This accusation is notable because the Bible primarily mentions Lucifer, or Satan, as the source of sin, without delving into additional named demons. While the existence of other demons is possible, their identities remain largely undisclosed, and Satan is typically held responsible for the world's troubles. In contrast, the Book of Enoch introduces other fallen beings like Azazel, suggesting a broader demonic influence on the world. However, the Bible is clear in 1 John chapter 3 verse 8 that the devil is the originator of sin, and the purpose of the Son of God's manifestation is to dismantle the devil's influence. According to Christian doctrine, the devil's fate is sealed, as Matthew 25:41 describes a future where Satan and his angels will be cast into the eternal fire, prepared for their destruction. This biblical passage underscores the unrepentant nature of Satan and his angels, marking their inevitable doom. The Book of Enoch, however, presents an intriguing twist on this narrative. In chapter 13, lines 5 to 6, it suggests that the fallen angels experienced regret for their actions, a sharp contrast to the biblical view of their fate. This remorse is significant because, according to Christian theology, repentance is the key to salvation from hellfire. Yet the Bible consistently portrays Satan and his angels as unrepentant. Enoch's portrayal of fallen angels introduces the idea that, after their rebellion, they lost the ability to communicate with God, claiming an inability to lift their eyes to heaven. This concept contrasts with biblical passages like Job chapter 1, where Satan is depicted as engaging in direct communication with God in heaven. The differing depictions of heaven and the interaction between God and fallen beings add to the complexity of the Book of Enoch's narrative. The book's apocalyptic vision culminates in an image reminiscent of the heavenly city described in Revelation chapter 21, verse 21, where the streets are paved with gold that gleams with the purity of translucent glass. This awe-inspiring vision of heaven captures the imagination and serves as a powerful conclusion to the book's themes of judgment, salvation, and divine justice. The Book of Enoch offers a unique and multifaceted perspective on ancient prophecies, celestial beings, and human history. Its portrayal of the Nephilim, fallen angels, and the end times continues to intrigue readers, sparking theological debates that resonate with both biblical and extra-biblical traditions. Despite its non-canonical status, Enoch remains a valuable text for understanding ancient Jewish thought and its influence on later Christian eschatology. The Book of Enoch, an ancient and mysterious text, offers a celestial vision that transcends earthly imagination. In chapter 14, verse 10, we are presented with a description of a divine architecture made from crystal, a dazzling image of the heavenly realm that seems otherworldly. This is just one of the many extraordinary passages that separate the Book of Enoch from other biblical narratives, painting a picture of the heavens that challenges not only religious texts, but also modern scientific understanding. In chapter 14, verses 9 through 25, the narrative takes an intriguing turn as Enoch's journey through the celestial spheres reveals anomalies and unexpected visions. These heavenly descriptions raise questions about how these accounts align with established scripture and at the same time push the boundaries of contemporary science. The Book of Enoch delves into realms of astronomical and meteorological phenomena that defy conventional wisdom, drawing the reader into a world that is as perplexing as it is mesmerizing. One of the most striking examples of this cosmic mystery is found in chapter 33, verses 1 through 4, where Enoch claims to have mapped and numbered every star in the sky. This is an astonishing claim, particularly when contrasted with the biblical passage in Jeremiah 33:22, which suggests that the stars are too numerous to count. Modern science, too, backs up this impossibility. Astronomers estimate that the Milky Way alone contains around 100 million stars, with an incomprehensible number of galaxies stretching across the universe, each filled with countless stars. Yet, the Book of Enoch invites readers to imagine a cosmic cartographer, charting the heavens with a precision that defies both logic and science. In chapter 41, the Book of Enoch ventures even further into the fantastical, claiming that wind, snow, hail, and even the moon come from a wooden receptacle in the celestial heights. This imagery is whimsical and borders on the unbelievable, standing in stark contrast to both biblical teachings and rational thought. Such extraordinary claims naturally prompt reflection on why the Book of Enoch was excluded from the biblical canon. Perhaps it is in these divergences from mainstream belief that we begin to see why the book did not find a place among the sacred texts of the Bible. The Book of Enoch is not merely a source of inspiration for some. It is a sprawling narrative that weaves together the past, present, and future, touching on creation, the coming of Jesus Christ, and the day of judgment. Remarkably, this ancient text encapsulates much of the biblical story, including the essence of Genesis and beyond. However, the question remains, why does the Book of Enoch remain outside the Bible? Despite its rich content and the profound themes it explores, the Book of Enoch is not considered canonical scripture. It lacks the divine inspiration that characterizes biblical texts. Instead, it occupies a space in apocryphal literature, appearing alongside other writings like the Book of Baruch. Yet, its frequent contradictions with the established biblical narrative lead to skepticism. Scholars have categorized the Book of Enoch as pseudepigrapha, suggesting that its true author may not be Enoch at all. One of the most notable contradictions in the Book of Enoch involves the timeline of Noah. In the biblical narrative, Enoch ascends to heaven long before Noah's time, yet Noah is mentioned in the Book of Enoch as if they were contemporaries. This temporal discrepancy further deepens doubts about the authenticity of the text. It is likely that the Book of Enoch was written after the time of Enoch, possibly by someone who adopted his name to lend credibility to their work. For readers seeking a guide to gospel doctrines, the Book of Enoch may not offer much clarity. Interestingly, though, there is evidence that the Book of Enoch was widely known in the early church. For example, the New Testament figure Jude appears to have drawn from the Book of Enoch in his writings. During his time, the text was recognized and respected, and Jude utilized a passage from it to strengthen his argument for the gospel. This acknowledgement of the Book of Enoch highlights its historical significance, even if it did not make its way into the canonical Bible. There are different versions of the Book of Enoch, with the Ethiopic version being the most widely recognized today. However, this version is also considered pseudepigraphical, meaning that its authorship is in question, and it was likely written after the time of Christ. The intention behind the Book of Enoch seems to have been to preserve the wisdom and teachings attributed to Enoch, yet this effort was complicated by the limitations of oral tradition. For example, Methuselah, a prominent biblical figure and the son of Enoch, is conspicuously absent from the text, raising further doubts about the reliability of its content. The Book of Enoch invites readers on a journey into a complex world where history, mythology, and religious tradition intertwine. It is a text that defies easy categorization, presenting a vision of the cosmos that is both awe-inspiring and confounding. While the Book of Enoch may not illuminate gospel doctrines in the way canonical texts do, it remains a fascinating exploration of ancient beliefs and the mysteries of the universe. The quest to understand the Book of Enoch is a journey that extends beyond the boundaries of established scripture and historical accuracy. It is a search for meaning in a world of contradictions and cosmic wonder, where the line between truth and fiction blurs. The Book of Enoch stands as a testament to the power of ancient storytelling and the enduring human desire to grasp the mysteries of the heavens. For those who approach it with an open mind and discerning eyes, the Book of Enoch offers a rich tapestry of insights, both inspiring and perplexing, that continue to captivate readers across generations.
Not only has he got rid of Jesus, who was a troublemaker, and he wanted to get rid of him anyway, but he's also goaded the chief priests into this terrible declaration that they have no king but Caesar, so that Jesus dies. The Romans are the unwilling participants who never want to see this, who would stop it if they could. This is completely spurious history.
Did Pontius Pilate write a detailed report to Emperor Tiberius about Jesus, covering his miracles, trial, crucifixion, and resurrection? And if such a report exists, does it reveal any astonishing details that aren't found in the Gospels? Plus, we'll explore the significance of the Pilate stone discovered in Caesarea Maritima in 1961. What does this artifact tell us about the crucifixion of Jesus? We are Jesus' eternal aura. In today's video, you will have appropriate answers to all the questions above. Before you know what happened, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and click the bell icon for all the latest updates. Let's begin. The Acts of Pilate is a document with a complex and intriguing history. Initially part of the 1st century apocryphal text known as the Acts of Peter and Paul, it was later incorporated into the 4th century apocryphal Gospel of Nicodemus. The document is attributed to Pontius Pilate himself, but its authenticity and historical value have been subjects of scholarly debate. Scholars are divided on the nature of the Acts of Pilate. Some ancient writers suggest that Pilate did indeed write such a report, which may have been motivated by his desire to defend himself against accusations from Herod Antipas to Emperor Tiberius. This notion is plausible, as Pilate's account includes details about the criticisms he faced, which could explain why he might have sought to provide his own perspective on the events. The inclusion of such a detail might indicate that the report was intended to serve as a defense rather than as a piece of fabricated propaganda. The fact that Pilate would include such a critical element in his account makes the report seem less likely to be a complete fabrication, as it would be unusual for someone crafting a deceitful document to include such potentially damaging information about themselves. Another significant piece of evidence is Justin Martyr's reference to Pilate's report in a letter to Emperor Antoninus Pius around AD 138. Justin's use of the document suggests that it was well known and accessible in the early 2nd century. This implies that the report was not only known, but also preserved in some form, possibly within the imperial archives. According to Justin Martyr, Pilate's report included details about the crucifixion of Jesus, such as the casting of lots for Jesus' garments. This reinforces the idea that the document was significant and its contents were familiar to early Christian and Roman audiences. Furthermore, Tertullian, another early church father, mentions that Emperor Tiberius considered adding Jesus to the Roman pantheon of gods based on Pilate's report. While this claim is not supported by Roman archives and remains speculative, it highlights the early Christian community's high regard for the Acts of Pilate. The fact that such a document might have influenced significant figures like Tiberius indicates its perceived importance at the time. The impact of the Acts of Pilate is further underscored by the actions of Emperor Maximinus in AD 311. Maximinus orchestrated a counterfeit version of the Acts of Pilate in an attempt to undermine Christianity. This manipulation suggests that the original document had a substantial influence and was considered a threat by those opposed to Christianity. The existence of a counterfeit version highlights the document's significance and its potential role in shaping early Christian and Roman discourse. To better understand the significance of this document, let us examine the opening lines of Pilate's letter to Emperor Tiberius. In his communication, Pilate begins with a formal greeting and promptly addresses the recent events in his province. He expresses his concern that these events might eventually alter the destiny of the Roman Empire, indicating a sense of foreboding about the implications of the incidents he is about to describe. Pilate's language reflects his unease and the gravity with which he views the situation in Judea. Pilate describes his experience governing Judea as particularly challenging. He inherited a province that was described as exceedingly difficult to manage, with Jerusalem being especially turbulent. This characterization sets the stage for understanding the precarious nature of Pilate's position. His reliance on a single centurion and a small number of soldiers underscores the limited military resources available to him, which were insufficient to maintain order in such a volatile region. The shortage of troops highlights the difficulties faced by the Roman administration in maintaining control over Jerusalem and preventing potential uprisings. Pilate's account also touches upon the broader issue of the Roman Empire's expansion beyond its means. He expresses concern about the empire's overextension and the potential consequences for its stability. Pilate's apprehensions about the empire's ability to defend its territories and the strain on its resources reflect a broader awareness of the challenges facing Rome at the time. His observations about the unsustainable nature of the empire's expansion and the implications for its future stability add a layer of depth to the historical context of his report. The Acts of Pilate is a document shrouded in historical intrigue and debate. While its authenticity remains uncertain, the evidence suggests that it was a significant document in early Christian and Roman contexts. The references by early church fathers and the actions of later emperors indicate that the report was taken seriously and had a notable impact. By examining Pilate's letter and the broader historical context, we gain insight into the challenges faced by Roman governance in Judea and the implications of the events surrounding Jesus' crucifixion. The Acts of Pilate thus serves as a fascinating artifact that sheds light on this pivotal period in history. In examining Pontius Pilate's decision-making process, particularly regarding his handling of Jesus' trial and crucifixion, it's essential to consider the broader context of his governance and the pressures he faced. The shortage of troops in Judea played a pivotal role in Pilate's decision, influencing his approach to maintaining order and addressing unrest. As we explore historical documents and artifacts, we gain insight into Pilate's perspectives and the political climate of the time. Among the various reports that Pilate received, one account in particular captured his attention. A young man, Jesus of Nazareth, was preaching a new doctrine in Galilee. Initially, Pilate was apprehensive, concerned that Jesus might incite rebellion against Roman rule. However, his fears were quickly alleviated. Contrary to stirring up trouble, Jesus spoke in a manner that seemed more supportive of Roman authority than opposed to it. Pilate described Jesus' appearance and demeanor with notable detail. Pilate recounted observing Jesus amidst a large gathering at the place of Shiloh. He described Jesus as a striking figure with golden-colored hair and a serene countenance, contrasting sharply with the darker, more typical features of his listeners. This is the only historical document that provides a description of Jesus' physical appearance, which raises intriguing questions about its authenticity. The depiction of Jesus as having blonde hair and a beard may reflect later additions by scribes rather than historical reality, prompting debates about the accuracy of this portrayal. Continuing his account, Pilate detailed how he chose not to interrupt Jesus' discourse, but instead sent his secretary, Manlius, to listen and report back. Manlius, an experienced native of Judea familiar with Hebrew, conveyed Jesus' teachings, which Pilate found to be remarkably wise. One of the notable teachings Manlius reported was Jesus' response to whether it was lawful to pay tribute to Caesar. Jesus' famous reply, "Render unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's," impressed Pilate. This response indicated to Pilate that Jesus was not a radical or a threat to Roman authority, but rather a figure whose wisdom merited respect. Despite Jesus' seemingly non-threatening demeanor, Pilate's decision to protect him from arrest was not without consequence. Pilate noted that this protection angered the wealthy and powerful Jewish elites who were displeased with Jesus' criticisms. Jesus' harsh critiques of the rich and powerful, coupled with his commendations of humble acts of charity, stirred significant opposition. The growing discontent among the Jewish leaders led to frequent complaints to Pilate, with some even threatening to appeal to Caesar if Pilate did not take action. Facing these pressures, Pilate was caught between maintaining peace and adhering to justice. His decision was further complicated by the political situation in Rome. The Senate approved Pilate's conduct, but he was advised that a military reinforcement would be available only after the Parthian War concluded. With insufficient forces to suppress potential unrest, Pilate sought a solution that would maintain the city's tranquility without compromising his own position. This led him to a decisive but controversial measure. To address the unrest surrounding Jesus and to avoid the potential embarrassment of having to deal with uprisings, Pilate decided to hand Jesus over to be crucified. This decision was motivated by a desire to preserve order and avoid a direct confrontation with the Jewish authorities. Pilate's hesitation and the complex interplay of political considerations underscan acts of Pilate, or the challenging nature of his role as governor. Turning to artifacts associated with Pilate, the Pilate stone provides valuable historical context. Discovered in 1961 near Caesarea Maritima in Israel, this artifact is a dedicatory inscription on a limestone block. The Pilate stone is significant because it offers archaeological evidence of Pontius Pilate's existence and role as the Roman governor of Judea, as mentioned in the New Testament accounts of Jesus' trial and crucifixion. The inscription reads, "To the divine Augustus Tiberium, Pontius Pilate, prefect of Judea." This translates to a dedication to the Emperor Augustus Tiberius by Pontius Pilate, the prefect of Judea. The stone was found reused in the staircase leading up to a theater at Caesarea Maritima, an important administrative center during Roman times. The presence of this inscription corroborates the historical accounts of Pilate's governorship and provides a tangible link to the events described in biblical texts. In summary, the historical and archaeological evidence sheds light on Pilate's decisions and the political dynamics of his time. Pilate's handling of Jesus' trial and crucifixion was influenced by a combination of political strategy, the need to maintain order, and his assessment of Jesus' threat level. Artifacts like the Pilate stone help contextualize these events, offering insights into the historical reality behind the biblical narrative. Another letter that Jesus wrote also finally discovered after thousands of years of being hidden. The correspondence between Jesus and King Abgar V of Edessa is primarily known through the writings of Eusebius of Caesarea, a key early Christian historian. Eusebius came across these letters in Edessa's archives during his extensive historical investigations and included the narrative in his seminal work, Ecclesiastical History, written in the early 4th century. This account, preserved through Eusebius, lends the story both an aura of antiquity and historical authority. King Abgar V, often referred to as Abgar the Black, ruled over Edessa, located in what is now southeastern Turkey, around the early 1st century AD. Edessa was a significant cultural and trade hub during this period, strategically positioned at the crossroads of various civilizations, including the Roman and Persian empires. As a member of the Osroene dynasty, Abgar V was noted for his diplomatic skill and political savvy, navigating the complex power dynamics of the region while maintaining Edessa's prominence amid the broader geopolitical struggles. During his reign, King Abgar suffered from a severe and chronic illness, described in various accounts as debilitating and beyond the capabilities of local physicians to remedy. Amid his suffering, Abgar learned about Jesus of Nazareth and his growing reputation as a healer. Reports of Jesus' miraculous acts, such as restoring sight to the blind, healing the lame and curing the sick, reached Abgar, stirring in him both hope and curiosity. Believing that Jesus might offer a cure not only for his physical affliction, but also for the spiritual and political challenges facing his kingdom, Abgar decided to send a letter to Jesus. According to early Christian tradition and the writings of Eusebius, Abgar's decision to reach out was both bold and unprecedented. In his letter, Abgar expressed profound respect and reverence for Jesus, acknowledging him as either God himself or the Son of God performing divine acts. The letter read, "And when I heard all those things about you, I considered that you are either God himself, who has come down from heaven to act like this, or that you are the Son of God doing such things. Therefore I am writing to you and ask you to visit me and cure my illness. Incidentally, I have heard that the Jews are grumbling about you and wish you harm. I have a city, rather small but noble, and it is sufficient for us both." Abgar's words reflected a deep faith in Jesus' divine power, viewing him not merely as a healer, but as a savior, capable of performing miracles without the use of medicines or herbs. By extending an invitation to Jesus, Abgar offered refuge in Edessa, a place far from the growing hostilities in Judea. He wrote, "I invite you to come to me and escape the persecution you are suffering." The king's request was straightforward yet profound. He sought healing from his ailment, firmly believing that Jesus' presence alone could restore his health. Abgar's letter demonstrates his belief in Jesus' power and his hope that this divine influence could extend beyond Judea to a Gentile ruler. Transporting the letter from Edessa to Judea was no small feat, given the vast distance and the rudimentary transportation and communication methods of the time. Historians suggest that Abgar entrusted the message to a royal courier, tasked with the significant responsibility of finding Jesus and delivering the letter directly. This courier faced the challenges of navigating the geographical and political landscape between Edessa and Judea while locating Jesus amidst his itinerant ministry. The emissary's journey symbolizes a search for spiritual truth and healing, both physically and metaphorically. Upon arriving in Judea, the courier presented the letter to Jesus, completing his mission. The next crucial part of the story concerns Jesus' response to King Abgar's heartfelt plea. According to early Christian traditions preserved by Eusebius and other sources, Jesus did reply to King Abgar. In his response, Jesus commended the king for his faith and acknowledged his deep belief in his divine power. Jesus expressed regret that he could not visit Edessa at that moment, but assured Abgar that after his ascension, one of his disciples would come to Edessa to heal him. The letter from Jesus read, "Blessed are you for having believed in me without having seen me. For it is written that those who have seen me will not believe, but those who have not seen me and yet have believed will be blessed. As for what you have asked, I have written to you that I cannot come to you now, but after my ascension, I will send one of my disciples to you who will heal your disease and give you life." This response from Jesus reflects his acknowledgement of Abgar's faith and an assurance that such faith would be rewarded. The promise of a future visit from one of his disciples highlights Jesus' recognition of the king's profound belief and the anticipation of healing that would come through his followers. The story of the letters between Jesus and King Abgar IV is a fascinating chapter in early Christian history, illustrating the far-reaching impact of Jesus' ministry and the profound faith it inspired beyond Judea. King Abgar's hope for healing and his invitation to Jesus underscore the universal appeal of Jesus' message and the deep longing for spiritual and physical restoration that marked the early Christian world. This episode not only demonstrates the wide reach of Jesus' influence, but also serves as a testament to the enduring power of faith and the ways in which it transcended geographical and cultural boundaries in the ancient world. What did Jesus write in his letter to King Abgar? The historical account of Jesus Christ's correspondence with King Abgar of Edessa is a fascinating episode that underscores the early expansion of Christianity and the universal reach of Jesus' message. This exchange is preserved in various historical and apocryphal sources, notably including the writings of Eusebius of Caesarea, an early Christian historian. According to these sources, Jesus wrote a letter to King Abgar, which reveals significant aspects of his mission and the burgeoning spread of Christianity beyond its Jewish roots. In the letter attributed to Jesus, he acknowledges King Abgar's faith, expressing gratitude for his belief despite not having seen him personally. The letter reads, "Blessed are you who has believed in me without having seen me, for it is written concerning me that those who have seen me will not believe in me, and that those who have not seen me will believe and be saved. But as to what you wrote to me, to come to you, it is necessary for me to fulfill all things here for which I have been sent, and after fulfilling them to be taken up to him who sent me. But after I have been taken up, I will send one of my disciples to you to heal your disease and bring life to you and yours." This letter, ascribed to Jesus, is not just a personal communication, but an important document that signifies the early Christian message's expansion beyond Jewish territories into the broader Greco-Roman world. It suggests that Jesus was aware of his growing influence and intended for his teachings to reach all corners of the earth. The promise to send a disciple after his ascension illustrates the role of the apostles in continuing his mission, which is a cornerstone of Christian doctrine, emphasizing the concept of apostolic succession. Historical accounts narrated by Eusebius and expanded in various apocryphal texts state that Jesus fulfilled his promise by sending Thaddeus, one of his 70 disciples, to Edessa after his ascension. Thaddeus is said to have arrived in Edessa, healed King Abgar, and converted many of his subjects to Christianity. This event marked a significant moment in the establishment of one of the earliest Christian communities outside of Judea, underlining the promise of Jesus' teachings reaching distant lands. The kingdom of Edessa, where King Abgar ruled, became a pivotal center for Christianity in the East. The conversion of its king and many of his subjects helped to spread the Christian faith throughout the region and beyond, significantly influencing the early Syrian Christian tradition. According to later elaborations, Thaddeus not only brought Jesus' letter to Edessa, but also a cloth with the imprint of Jesus' face, known as the Holy Face of Edessa. This relic was believed to have been miraculously created when Jesus pressed a towel to his face, and it became a revered icon with protective powers. The story of Jesus' letter to King Abgar illustrates profound themes of faith, divine mission, and the universality of Jesus' message. It reinforces the belief that salvation through Jesus is available to all humanity, transcending the ethnic and geographic limitations of Judea. This correspondence and its fulfillment by Thaddeus exemplify the early Christian understanding of their mission to spread the gospel to all nations, a directive given by Jesus in the Great Commission. Despite the compelling narrative, the authenticity of Jesus' letter to King Abgar remains debated among scholars and theologians. Eusebius of Caesarea claims to have found these letters in the archives of Edessa during his historical research. However, no surviving copies of the original letters exist apart from Eusebius's transcription, leading some to question their authenticity. Critics argue that the style and content of the letters do not align perfectly with the Judaic context of Jesus' time. Moreover, the use of Greek for these letters in a region where Aramaic was prevalent raises additional questions about their origin and authenticity. While Greek was widely used across the Eastern Mediterranean, especially in administrative and scholarly contexts, it was not the native language of Edessa, where Aramaic was spoken. Some scholars suggest that Jesus may have used Greek to ensure the letter's comprehensibility across different linguistic groups, especially considering the cross-cultural communication between Jesus and King Abgar. given the absence of the original letter and the complexities surrounding its language and style, it is difficult to definitively establish the letter's authenticity. However, it is plausible that such a correspondence took place, with Jesus potentially dictating his message to a messenger who then recorded it for King Abgar. Regardless of the letter's exact origins, the historical narrative highlights a significant moment in the early spread of Christianity, with the miraculous healing of King Abgar and the subsequent conversion of his kingdom serving as a testament to the reach and impact of Jesus' teachings. The story of the letter to King Abgar and its fulfillment underscores the early Christian community's dedication to spreading the gospel and fulfilling Jesus' mission. It reflects the early church's understanding of its role in extending the message of Christianity beyond its original confines and into the broader world. Whether or not the letter itself is historically accurate, the impact of the narrative on the development and spread of early Christianity is undeniable, marking a pivotal chapter in the history of the faith.